compare. You are my anchor, my shield, my strong light, and crushing the enemy all across the land. The battle is yours, the victory already won, saving us through the Messiah, your only begotten Son. I'm standing still, my belief is real. Yahuah is my refuge, my shield, and my seal. Hallelujah, the war is won under his wings. I am never alone. You are my anchor, my shield, my strong light, crushing the enemy all across the land. The battle is yours, the victory already won, saving us through the Messiah, your only begotten Son.
Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom, Mishpachah. I am Jimmy, also known as Brother Jimmy, and we are the ambassadors of Yah. For those of you who are interested in that song that was sent to us by our Cody Alexis Washington, if you like it, please get a hold of her. And the name of the song is Crushing the Enemy. Crushing the Enemy. Beautiful song. I want to thank you, Cody, for sending that and highlighting it here today on this Shabbat. Let me clear out my voice. Well, Mishpachah, it is that time. If you are able-bodied, we ask that you stand facing the great city of the great king, the eternal city, Yahushalom, also known as Jerusalem. I'm going to be facing east, and I'm going to blow the shofar unto Abba Yahuah on his Yaum on this day. Let us palau. Heavenly Abba Yahuah, we come before you on this Yaum, on this set apart Yaum, O Abba, that belongs to you. You have told us to come together with you on this appointed time, O Abba. Abba, we want to hear from you. Abba, we wish for your presence to be in our midst on this Yaum. Abba, all of us are wicked, degenerate, filthy beings, O Abba, before you. We ask that you forgive us for all of our transgressions that we have committed in your sight. Be it anything that we have said, anything that we have done, and most especially anything that we have thought within our mind, O Abba, that you can hear and see, O Yah, for nothing is hidden from your sight. Abba, we palau for the leaders of this Arats. We palau for each and every last one of them, Abba, the righteous and the wicked. Abba, we palau that they would make the right choices with your people and with the innocent. Abba, we see all the friction, all the commotion that is going on this Arats that you are very well aware of, O Abba. Abba, we ask that you would keep a hedge of protection over your people, those who are Yashra'al, native born, and those who have been grafted in, O Yah, who call upon your righteous name and seek your face, O Abba Yahuah. Abba, we also palau for our Akis and our Kodis all throughout the world, who on this Yom are celebrating your Yom, that come before you, O Abba, with contrite spirits and a humble heart. Abba, we ask that you would help us wherever we have need, O Abba Yahuah. Be it our finances, be it our health, be it our emotional state, O Abba, whatever it is, we ask that you would move in our life, O Yah. Abba, we also ask that you would lead us and guide us on this Yom, as we come together in your mighty name, O Yahuah. To the Ata Abba Yahuah for your Bain Yahusha HaMashiach, for what he has done for each and every last one of us upon the tree. We're so undeserving, O Abba. None of us, O Yah, are worthy of your gift. None of us are worthy of everlasting life with you. And yet we thank you, O Yah, for you are not dealing with us according to our ways, but according to your namesake. And so we thank you and we give you praise on this Yaum. Yada Yahuah, Rumamu Yahuah, Hallelujah Yahuah. All these things we ask in the mighty name of your Bain as we bring our petitions before you in Yahusha's mighty name. Hallelujah Yahuah, Hallelujah Yahuah, and Hallelujah Yahuah. Amat. Rumamu Yahuah. Amat. Okay, Miss Paka. Yes, Sheba. My shepherd's over here looking at me like, yes. Praise Abba Yahuah. Yes, yes, yes. All right. I want to play a song. It's an oldie. I ask that all of you, whatever you're doing, please stop and give your attention to Abba Yahuah. Today is his day of worship. It's not about us doing any cleaning. It's not about us doing all kinds of multitasking. No, it's time to settle your ruach. Give Abba Yahuah your undivided attention. May all your attention be upon him. May he teach us something new today. This is an old song. Some of you will recognize it. Let us worship our Abba Yahuah.
Yah, prepare me to be a sanctuary,
Yes.
pure and
Pure and Kadash.
tried and true. With thanksgiving, I want to be a living sanctuary for you.
Yes, let's sing this to our Abba Yahuah.
Yah, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and
Kadash, tried and true.
with thanksgiving, I wanna be a living sanctuary for you. Yah, prepare me
Yes, Yah, prepare us to be a sanctuary,
pure and
pure and Kadash,
tried and true, with thanksgiving.
Yes.
Be a living
Hallelujah Yahuah.
sanctuary for you.
Yes, Abba, prepare us to be a sanctuary for you. One more time. Hallelujah Yahuah.
Yah, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and Kadash, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I wanna be a pure and polished, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I wanna be a living sanctuary for you. Yeah, prepare me
Hallelujah,
a
Yahuwah.
sanctuary.
You are worthy, O Abba Yahuwah.
Pure and
With Kadash hands, we lift it up to you, O Abba. For you are worthy of the palal and the praise, all of it, O Abba Yahuwah.
with thanksgiving, I wanna be a living
Sanctuary for you. We want to be a sanctuary for you, O Abba. Our bodies are your temple, O Yah. Help us to treat us as such, O Yah. Hallelujah. Yahuwah. As we have people that come through, and I want to thank all my moderators keeping the riffraff out of here on this special Yaum. Of those who don't understand our Abba's calendar, who don't know that today is the Shabbat, where we are aligned with the Shamayim in the heavens, as they are also keeping Shabbat, as we are with them in unison. Hallelujah. Yahuwah. I want to ask all of you to continue to palal for one another, and especially those that we had yesterday on our open mic night on TikTok. For those of you that were there, for our Cody Maria with her menstrual issue, we continue to bring her before Abba Yahuwah, that he will supernaturally heal her where she doesn't need to take any medication, and that he does it all for his namesake. Hallelujah. Yahuwah. We also palal for all of those that are out there, like our Aki Aliyahu, who doesn't have a place to call home. But we thank Abba Yahuwah for putting it on so many of our hearts to take care of our Aki and his two little children and his Ashah. Especially with this blizzard of this weather that is rocking the Northeast, because he's in the Brooklyn area. And we also palal for all of you who are in the path of these winter storms, that you and your mishpachah are nice and warm, and the heaters are working well, and that your furry animals are also okay, wherever they may be, in the barn or wherever. But we have you in our palals, mishpachah. All right, before we get to reading the Tanakh, which is the TORAH, the Nabaim, and the Ketubim, let us remember what this Yom is all about. Let's go to Yeshayahu chapter 58. I'm going to be reading out of the TS 2009, the Scriptures 2009. Isaiah chapter 58 reads as such. Let me get it all together here. Excuse me, Mishpachah. All right. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 13, and it reads, "If you do turn back your foot from the Shabbat, from doing your pleasure on my set-apart Yom, and shall call the Shabbat a delight, the set-apart Yom of Yahuwah, esteemed, and shall esteem it, not doing your own ways, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words. Then you shall delight yourself in Yahuwah, and I, that is Yahuwah, shall cause you to ride on the heights of the Arats, and feed you in the inheritance of Yaqub your Abba. For the mouth of Yahuwah has spoken." Let me also read a passage out of Yobalim, Jubilees, about the Shabbat and how important it is. I'm going to be reading out of the complete apocrypha, Out of the book of Yobalim, also known as Jubilees, the very last. And I'm going to start from verse 6. This is chapter 50, verse 6 of Yobalim, Jubilees. And behold, the commandment regarding the Shabbat, or the Shabbatot, I have written them down for you in all the judgments of its laws, or Torah. 6 Yomayims, or 6 days, will you labor, but on the seventh Yom, on the seventh day, is the Shabbat of Yahuah, your Alua Alahim. In it you shall do no manner of work, you and your sons, and your men servants, and your maid servants, and all your cattle, the sojourner, that is the foreigner, also who is with you. And the person that does any work on it shall be unalived. Whoever desecrates that day, that is the Shabbat Yom, whoever lies with his wife, you know what that means, or whoever says he or she will do something on it, that he will set out on a journey thereon in regards to any buying or selling, and whoever draws water thereon which he had not prepared for himself on the sixth Yom, and whoever takes up any burden to carry it out of his house or out of his home shall, we'll say it, so it says tent and house. So let me read that as it is. Out of its tent and out of its house shall be unalived. You shall do no work whatever on the Shabbat Yom, save that you have prepared for yourselves on the sixth Yom, so as to eat, drink, and rest, and keep the Shabbat from all work on that Yom, and to Barak Yahuah, your Alua Alahim, who has given you a day, this day of festival, and a set apart day, a day of the set apart kingdom for all Yasharal, is this day among their days forever. For great is the honor which Yahuah has given to Yasharal, that they should eat and drink and be satisfied on this festival day, and rest thereon from all labor which belongs to the labor of the children of Adam, save burning frank incense and bringing oblations and offerings before Yahuah for the days and for the Shabbats. This work alone shall be done on the Shabbat Yom, in the sanctuary of Yahuah your mighty one, that they may atone for Yasharal with the offering continually from day to day for a memorial, well-pleasing before Yahuah, that he may receive them always from day to day, according as you have been commanded. And every man and woman who does any work thereon, or goes on a journey, or tills his farm or his ground, whether in his house or on any other place, and whoever lights a fire, or rides on any beast, or travels by the ship on the sea, and whoever strikes or unalives anything, or slaughters a beast or a bird, or whoever catches an animal or a bird or a fish, or whoever fasts, that is to zoom or make war on the Shabbat, that person who does any of these things on the Shabbat shall be unalived. So that the children of Yasharal shall observe the Shabbats according to the commandments regarding the Shabbats of the land, as it is written in the tablets, which he gave into my hands, that I should write it out for you, the laws of the seasons. And the seasons according to the division of their days. Here is completed the account of the division of the days. Hallelujah. All right, let's continue. Now let's go into the Torah. We're going to be reading out of Exodus. Give me a second, all of you, as I go to our passage. Exodus chapter 31, Shemot chapter 31. And Yahuah spoke to Moshe, saying, See, I have called by name Basal, son of Uri, son of of the tribe of Yehudah. And I have filled him with the Ruach of Yahuah Elohim in wisdom and in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all work, to make designs for work in gold, and in silver, and in bronze, and in cutting of stones for setting, and in carving wood, and to work in all work. And I looked, and I have appointed with him Oliab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. And I have put wisdom in the hearts, of everyone who is wise-hearted, and they shall make all that I have commanded you, the tent of appointment, and the ark of the witness, and the lid of the atonement that is on it, and all the utensils of the tent, that is the tabernacle, and the table and its utensils, and the clean gold lampstand. We know that as the menorah, with all its utensils, and the slaughter place of incense, and the slaughter place of ascending offering, with all its utensils, and the basin and its stand, and the woven garments, and the set apart garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons for serving as priests, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense for the set apart place, according to all that I have commanded you, they are to do. And Yahuah spoke to Masha, saying, and you speak to the children of Yasharal, saying, my Shabbat you are to guard by all means, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, to know that I, Yahuah, am setting you apart, setting you or making you separated from the world. And you shall guard the Shabbat, for it is set apart to you. Everyone who profanes it shall certainly be put to death. For anyone who does work on it, that being shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days work is to be done, and on the seventh is a Shabbat of rest, set apart to Yahuah. Everyone doing work on the Shabbat day shall certainly be put to unaliving. And the children of Yasharal shall guard the Shabbat, to perform the Shabbat throughout their generations as an everlasting agreement between me and the children of Yasharal. It is a sign forever. For in 6 days Yahuah made the Shamayim and the Arats. And on the seventh Yaum he rested and was refreshed. Hallelujah. Yahuah. And when he had ended speaking with him on Mount Sinai, he gave Masha 2 tablets of the witness or testimony, tablets of stone, written with the finger of Yahuah Elohim. Hallelujah. Yahuah. Now let's go to the Nabaim, that is to the prophets. And we are going to go to Hazakal, also known as Ezekiel. Chapter 20. Ezekiel chapter 20. Verse 1. And it came to be in the 7th year, in the 5th Kadash, on the 10th day of the month, that certain elders of Yasharal came to inquire of Yahuah and sat before me. And the word of Yahuah came to me, saying, Son of Adam, speak to the elders of Yasharal and say to them, Thus said the Master Yahuah, have you come to inquire of me? As I live, I am not being inquired by you, declares the Master Yahuah. Judge them, son of Adam, judge them. Make known to them the abominations of their fathers, our ancestors. And you shall say to them, Thus said the Master Yahuah, on the day when I chose Yasharal and lifted my hand in an oath to the seed of the house of Jacob, and made myself known to them in the land of Mitzrayim in Egypt, I lifted up my hand in an oath to them, saying, I am Yahuah, I am the self-existing one, your mighty one. On that day, I lifted up my hand in an oath to them, to bring them out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of Egypt, into a land that I had searched out for them, flowing with milk and honey, the splendor of all the lands. And I said to them, each one of you, throw away the abominations which are before his eyes, and do not defile yourselves with the idols of Egypt. I am Yahuah, your mighty one. But they rebelled against me. They would not obey me. All of them did not throw away the abominations which were before their eyes, nor did they forsake the idols of Mitzrayim of Egypt. So I resolved to pour out my wrath on them to complete my displeasure against them in the midst of the land of Egypt, in the midst of the house of bondage, the world. But I acted for my name's sake, that it should not be profaned before the eyes of the Gentiles, of the heathens, of the pagans, of the nations, among whom they were before whose eyes I had made myself known to them, that is to Yasharal, to bring them, Yasharal, out of the land of Egypt, out of the world. So I took them out of the land of the world, out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, and I brought them into the wilderness, And I gave them my laws and showed them my right rulings, which if a man does them, he shall live by them because he does them. As I had to write that in there to make a complete sentence of what is being said here. And I also gave them my Shabbats to be a sign between me and them, to know that I am Yahuah, who sets them apart. But the house of Yasharah rebelled against me in the wilderness. They did not walk in my laws. They rejected my right rulings, which if a man does, he shall live by them, or live because he is doing them. And they greatly profaned my Sabbaths. Then I said I would pour out my wrath on them in the wilderness to consume them. But I acted for my name's sake, not to profane it before the heathens, the pagans, the Gentiles, the non-believers, before whose eyes I had brought them out. And I myself also lifted up my hand in an oath to them in the wilderness, not to bring them into the land which I given them, flowing with milk and honey, the splendor of all lands, because they rejected my right rulings and did not walk in my laws. And they profaned my Sabbaths, for their heart went after their idols, after the things of the world. And my eye pardoned them from destroying them, and I did not make an end of them in the wilderness. And I said to their children in the wilderness, do not walk in the laws of your fathers, nor observe their rulings, nor defile yourselves with their idols, with their worldly things. I am Yahuah, your mighty one. Walk in my laws, guard my right rulings, and do them. And set apart my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you, to know that I am Yahuah, your Alua Alahim. But the children rebelled against me. They did not walk in my laws and my right rulings. They did not guard to do them, which if a man does them, he or she shall live because of them. But they profaned my Sabbath. So I resolved to pour out my wrath on them to complete my displeasure against them in the wilderness. But I held back my hand and acted for my name's sake, not to profane it before the eyes of the heathens, of the nations, of the non-believers, before whose eyes I had brought them out. Also, I myself lifted up my hand in an oath to those in the wilderness, to scatter them among the nations, among the heathens, among the pagans, as we are this day. Disperse them throughout the lands, that is, of the lands of their enemies, because they had not done my right rulings, and they rejected my laws, and they profaned my Sabbaths, and their eyes were on their fathers' idols. We're doing the same as our parents that came before us, and our grandparents that came before that. And I also gave them up to the laws that were not righteous, and right rulings by which they would not live. We're going to come back to verse 25. And I defiled them by their own gifts, as they passed all their firstborn through the fire, so that I might stun them, so that they know that I am Yahuah. Therefore, son of Adam, Speak to the house of Yasharal, and you shall say to them, Thus said the Master Yahuwah, in this your fathers have further reviled me by committing trespasses against me. When I brought them into the land for which I had lifted my hand in an oath to give them, and they saw all the high hills and all the thick trees, they slaughtered their slaughterings there and provoked me with their offerings there. And they sent up their sweet fragrance there and poured out their drink offerings there. And I said to them, What is this high place to which you go? So that its name is called High Place to this day. Therefore, say to the house of Yasharal, Thus said the Master Yahuwah, Are you defiling yourselves in the way of your fathers? And do you whore after their abominations? For when you lift up your gifts and make your sons pass through the fire, you defile yourselves with all your idols, even to this day. And I shall be inquired by you, O house of Yasharal. As I live, declares the Master Yahuwah, I am not being inquired of by you. And what comes of you up in your spirit shall never be. When you say, Let us be like the nations, let us be like the heathens, let us be like the pagans, like the tribes of the other lands, like the people of the other countries, serving wood and stone, their religions. As I live, declares the Master Yahuwah, do not I, with a mighty hand and with an outstretched arm, and with wrath poured out, reign over you? And I shall bring you out from the peoples, from the other nations, and gather you out of the lands where you have been scattered with a mighty hand and with an outstretched arm and with wrath poured out. And I shall bring you into the wilderness of the peoples, and I shall enter into judgment with you face to face there. As I entered into judgment with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Mitzrayim, in the land of the world of the heathens, so I also shall enter into judgment with you, declares the Master Yahuwah. And I shall make you pass under the rod, and shall bring you into the bond of the agreement, and purge the rebels from among you, and those who transgressed against me. From the land where they sojourn, I bring them out, but they shall not come into the land of Yasharal. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. But as for you, O house of Yasharal, thus said the Master Yahuwah, Go, serve each of you your idols. And afterwards, if you are not listening to me, but do not profane my set-apart name, do not profane my set-apart name anymore with your gifts and your idols. For on my set-apart mountain, on the mountain heights of Yasharal, declares the Master Yahuwah, there all the house of Yasharal, all of them in the land shall serve me. There I shall accept them, and there I shall require your offering and the firstfruits of your offerings, together with all your set-apart gifts. As a sweet fragrance I shall accept you when I bring you out from the peoples. And I shall gather you out of the lands where you have been scattered, and I shall be set apart in you before the nations, before the heathens, before the non-believers. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah when I bring you into the land of Yasharal, into the land which I have lifted my hand in an oath to give to your fathers, that is to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob. And there you shall remember your ways and all your deeds with which you were defiled. And you shall loathe yourselves in your own sight because of all the evils that you have done. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah when I have dealt with you for my name's sake, not according to your evil ways, nor according to your corrupt deeds, O house of Yasharal, declares the Master Yahuwah. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of Adam, set your face towards the south, and drop word against the south, and prophesy against the forest land, the south, that is Negab. And you shall say to the forest of Negab, Hear the word of Yahuwah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, See, I am kindling a fire in you, and it shall devour every green tree and every dry tree in you. The blazing flame is not to be quenched, and it shall burn all the faces from the south to the north. And all flesh shall see that I, Yahuwah, have kindled it. It is not quenched. And I said, Master Yahuwah, They are saying of me, is he not speaking parables? Is he not speaking parables? Let's go to the Ketubim. We're going to go to the new writings. Let's read some words of our Mashiach, our master. In the book of Matityahu, also known as Matthew, and we are going to read starting at chapter, I think it's 14. Yes, chapter 14. Oh, no. It's not chapter 14. Chapter 13. Talking about parables. Parables. And on that day, Yahusha, that is the Mashiach, went out of the house and sat by the sea. And a large crowd were gathered together to him, so that he went into a boat and sat down. And all the crowd stood on the beach. And he spoke to them much in parables, saying, See, the sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some indeed fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured them. Others fell on rocky places, where they did not have much soil, and immediately they sprang up, because they had no depth of soil. But when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered. And others fell among thorns, and the thorns came up and choked them. And others fell on rich soil, and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. And the taught ones came and said to him, Why do you speak to them in parables? And he answering and said to them, Because it has been given to you, Mishpachah, to know the secrets of the reign of the kingdom of the Shamayim. But to them it has not been given. For whoever possesses, to him more shall be given, and he shall have overflowingly. But whoever does not possess, even what he has or is possessing shall be taken away from him. Because of this I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. And in them the prophecy of Yashayahu is completely filled or fulfilled, which says, Hearing you shall hear, and by no means understand, and seeing you shall see, and by no means perceive. For the heart of this people has become thickened, and their ears are hard of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, lest they should understand with their heart, and turn back, and I heal them. Some translations say, save them. And Baruch are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. For truly I say to you that many prophets, many Nabaim, and righteous one, the Kadashim, long to see what you see and did not see it, and to hear what you hear and did not hear it. You then hear the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the reign and does not understand it, then the wicked one comes, snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is that sown by the wayside. And that sown on rocky places, this is he who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. Yet he has no root in himself, but is short-lived. And when pressure or persecution arises because of the word, immediately he or she stumbles. And that sown among the thorns is he or she who hears the word, and the worry of this age, or the worry of this world, the cares of this world, and the deceit of riches chokes the word, and it becomes fruitless. And that which was sown in the rich soil, he who hears the word and understands it, that's the key, and understands it, who indeed bears fruit and yields some 100, some 60, and 30-fold return. Another parable he put before them, saying, the rain, the kingdom of the Shamaim, has become like a person who sowed righteous seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed darnel. That's what we call tares among the wheat, and went away. And when the blade sprouted and bore fruit, then the darnel, the tares also appeared. And the servants of the master of the house came and said to him, Master, did you not sow righteous seed in your field? From where then does it have the darnel, the tares? And he said to them, a man, an enemy, has done this. And the servant said to him, do you wish then that we go and gather them up? But he said, no, lest while you gather up the tares, the darnel, you also uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And at the time of the harvest, I shall say to the reapers, first gather the darnel, the tares, and bind them in the bundles to be burned, but gather the wheat into my granary, into my storehouse. Another parable he put before them, saying, the rain, the kingdom of the Shamaim, is like the mustard seed, which a man took and sowed it in his field, which indeed is less than all the seeds. But when it is grown, it is greater than the plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the Shama come and dwell in its branches. And so another parable he spoke to them. The rain of the Shamaim is like leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal, until all was leavened. Yahusha said all this to the crowds in parables, and he did not speak to them without a parable. He did not speak to them without a parable, a parallel teaching, so that what was spoken by the prophet, by the Nabi, might be fulfilled, saying, I shall open my mouth in parables. I shall pour forth what has been hidden from the foundation of the arats of the world. Then, having sent the crowds away, Yahusha went into the house, and his taught ones came and said to him, explain to us the parable about the tares, the darnel of the field. And he answering and said to them, he who is sowing the righteous seed is the son of Adam, and the field is the world. And the righteous seed, these are the sons of the kingdom. The righteous seed is the sons of the kingdom, the children of the reign. But the tares, the darnel, are the sons or the children of the wicked one. And the enemy who sowed them is the devil. And the harvest is at the end of the age, and the reapers are the messengers. You may know them as angels. As the darnel, the tares then is gathered and burned into the fire, that is the lake of fire, so it shall be at the end of this age, or at the end of the world. The son of Adam shall send out his messengers, his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all the stumbling blocks and those doing, action word, lawlessness, those who don't follow the law, and shall throw them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous shall shine forth as the sun in the kingdom, the reign of their father, their Abba. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Again, the reign of the Shamaim is like the treasure hidden in a field, which a man having found it hid for joy over it. He goes and he sells all that he has and buys that field. Again, the reign of the Shama is like a man, a merchant, seeking fine pearls, who when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had to buy it. Again, the reign of the Shamaim is like a dragnet, like a net that was thrown into the sea and gathered some of every kind of fish, which when it was filled, they drew to the shore, and they sat down and they gathered all that was in the containers, but threw out the rotten ones. Thus shall it be in the end of the age. The messengers shall come forth and shall separate the wicked out of the midst of from the righteous. So that is the non-believers from the believers, and shall throw them into the furnace of fire. There will be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Yahusha said to them, "Have you understood all of this?" And they said to him, "Yes, master." And he said to them, "Therefore, every scholar taught in the reign of the Shamaim is like a householder who brings out of his treasure matters renewed and old." And it came to be, when Yahusha had ended these parables, that he left there. And when he had come to his own country, he taught them in their congregation, so that they were astonished and said, "Where did this one get this wisdom and miracles? Is this not the son of the carpenter? Is not his mother called Miriam? And his brethren, Jacob and Joseph and Shimon and Yehuda? And his sisters, are they not all with us? Where then did this one get all of this?" And they stumbled at him. But Yahusha said to them, "A prophet, a Nabi, is not appreciated except in his own country and in his own house." And he did not do many miracles there because of their unbelief. Hallelujah. Yahuah. So let us go back to Ezekiel. Because you see, our Abba Yahuah speaks to us in parables. This is why so many of us who don't understand or having a spiritual discernment have a hard time understanding our Abba Yahuwah's words. And so, like many of us, we would go to these houses of worship and we'll have people interpret what is being said to us because we feel that we're not equipped to understand it. Maybe those who went to seminary school can enlighten us in what was shared with them about these parables. But you see, Mishpachah, as our Messiah said, it wasn't given to them. Yes, it wasn't given to the seminary schools. The seminary schools was receiving other information, and it has nothing to do with our Abba Yahuwah, who gave us his truth. Give me a second here, Mishpachah. Give me a second here. Okay. All right. So I want to read this to you. And I said we were going to come back to it, which was, where was it here? We were in chapter 20. Oh, no, it wasn't chapter 20, was it? Oh, yes, it was chapter 20. Okay. So let's look at this here. Yes, verse 25. Yes. And I also gave them up to laws that were not righteous, and right rulings by which they would not live. When we was reading this earlier, first we were talking about how Yahuwah was telling his people, Yasharal, that they are to keep his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. And he was really hard about the Shabbat, that was a sign between him and who are his people. It was an identifier. It was a marker to let others know that we belong to him who created the heavens and the earth, and he rested on the Shabbat. That's what the Shabbat is allowing us to remember, to memorialize what our Abba Yahuwah has done. It's very crucial to know the specific day. Why is that crucial? Because again, as we read in the book of Yobalim, it says that the angels in the heavens are keeping Shabbat on the same time that we here on the earth are supposed to do the same. If we're not on the same calendar, if we're not on the same watch, if we're not on the same day and hour of when the Shabbat is supposed to be, we are not synchronized for his appointed time. Others can brush that off. We're not the others. Others can make light of it. We're not those others. Others may not even be following it. We're not those others. We see what the scripture says. And this is why in verse 25, this is what has happened. Yahuah has given them up. He says, I also gave them up. Yahuah gave these people up to other laws that were not righteous and right rulings by which they would not live. Meaning that you're following another custom and another tradition that is going to cause you to be separated from Abba Yahuah. Now, Christianity can brush over all of these things. It's not for them to know. Just like we read in Matthew chapter 13. They have eyes to see, but can't see. They have ears to hear, but they can't understand the parable. They have no idea other than what has been taught to them, like it was taught to us when we was in Christianity, to follow the traditions of men. We go with the flow. We don't change or interrupt what is being taught. But this is the reason why, Mishpakai, he has brought you up out of those places. Not because we did something right, not because we are better than somebody else. No, it's because he chose you. You didn't choose him. He wanted you to come out of her. He wanted you to understand who he was. He wanted to give you eyes to see. He wanted to give you ears to understand. Now, what you do with that information is going to be up to you. You can continue on being like the world, like Egypt, like Mitzrayim, or you can come out from amongst them and do not touch the unclean thing and be separate. This is our duty, Mishpachah. Many of our family and friends will not adhere to this understanding. This is why they look at us like there's something wrong, like we have a screw loose in our brain, like something has happened. I didn't raise you up to be like this, like some of our parents are thinking. How did I go wrong with this one? It's because Abba Yahuah has called you out. That in itself is the greatest miracle in our life, Mishpachah. Not some physical healing, not some mental healing. No, the fact that he has opened our eyes to his truth is the greatest miracle that has happened to us in our life, that he has shown us the way. As we find ourselves in the midst of many non-believers, including our friends and family, he has given them up to their own laws and to what they consider are their right rulings, their ordinances, their statutes, their instructions. We're also going to look at another one here. He says, when I brought them into the land, this is verse 28, for which I had lifted my hand in an oath to give them, talking about those of us who would cling on to him. And they saw all the high hills and all the thick trees. They slaughtered their slaughterings there and provoked me with their offerings there. The historical application, and now for our present application. And they sent up their sweet fragrance there and poured out their drink offerings there, just like we were doing when we was in the church. Just like we were doing when we was in Christianity. Pulled ourselves into doing things of the world and not according to Abba Yahuah. And I said to them, what is this high place to which you go? What is this assembly with this cross on it, or this crescent moon that's on it, or this six-pointed star that's on it, that you are entering into this building? What has that got to do with you? So its name is called High Place to this day. Therefore say to the house of Yasharal, thus said their master Yahuah, are you defiling yourselves in the way of your fathers? Are we going to do the same thing as those that came before us, our ancestors who were disobedient, who would not keep his law, who would not do according to what thus says Yahuah? And do you whore after their abominations. You see, we think of all of this as just Old Testament stuff. This is not Old Testament stuff. Right here, you're seeing where it says, and do you whore after their abominations? Let me show you what the book of Revelation says. I'm sure all of you can agree that this is what we're dealing with right now, the book of Revelation. But what does it say? These words that we're reading about right now. Revelation 17 speaks upon the same thing. We've read this many times, you and I. But again, as you know, I like to connect the dots. Yahuah is allowing us to connect the dots. Look at the connecting dots here. Verse 3, chapter 17, verse 3, and he carried me away in the Ruach into the wilderness. This is what we was reading even in Ezekiel, how he is going to take his people into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast. We already know who the woman is. We know who the scarlet beast is, covered with the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was dressed in purple and scarlet and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup filled with what? Abominations and the filthiness of her whoring. So how is that just Old Testament? How is that just only for our ancestors? Are we not doing the same? Were we not doing the same? Yes, we were. He brought us up out of her. Come out of her, my people. Revelation 18:4. Connecting the dots. Are you seeing the connection? Are you seeing the parallel? Are you seeing the parable? Like the Messiah said to the Talmudim, do you understand? I'm asking you all the same. Do you understand? Do you see what is being told? Because there are same people who come in here and they're listening to these same words and they have no idea. They have no idea. And so Yahusha said to those who are the reapers, because the reapers wanted to go up and pull all those things that are offensive that are in this world. And Yahuwah said, no, don't do that. Because you don't know which ones are going to be the wheat. You think it might be a tear. You think it might be a Exgen. You think it might be a Muslim. You think it might be a Buddhist. You think it might be a Judaism person who calls themselves the Ish. You don't know what's going to happen to them. They might come out of Judaism. They might come out of Islam. They might come out of Christianity. They might come out of Buddhism and Taoism and all the other isms. Let me deal with them, he's saying. And you will really see, you'll know at the end, if they are to be bound up together with those who are lost to be thrown into the furnace. Some of you that are in here are being wishy-washy. What do I mean by that? Depending on the flavor of the month, depending on if it's a cloudy day or if it's a clear sunny day, depends on how you are, how you're walking before Yahuwah. This should not be. You and I both know that we are on the times of the end times. This is not the time, Mishpachah, for us to be going in any direction other than with Yahuwah. If you're going to be in the world, go in the world. Stop wasting his time. Stop wasting your time. You know what you want to do, go do it. Like he told Judas, go and do it. It's your time. You want to be of the world? You want to turn me in? Go do what you got to do. But if you are fighting, if you are struggling, if you are striving, if you are persevering, if you are enduring, then you're in the right place. You want to do right, but it seems like you don't have the strength. You keep on finding yourself doing the same thing in the same dilemma over and over and over again. You're like, Abba, why am I so stupid? Why do I keep still doing this? Why do I keep finding myself going in this circle on and on this merry-go-round, being wishy-washy? Why am I being this way? What is wrong with me? What is in me that causes me to do this? I'm going to tell you what it is. It's your sin nature. It's my sin nature. It's our transgressing nature to be rebellious, and we have to root that out of us. I know some people, like you all know some people. You share them this great news of the Besorah, They hear the word and they're like, oh man, yeah. And you're like, well, hey, look, we come together and we do this and we do that. And they're like, oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Show me, how do I get there? Okay, what's the page? What's the name? All this. They sound like they coming. They're one of us now. And then the very next time you talk to them, you're like, hey, Akut, you gonna join us? Oh no, man! Or they'll even brush you off. They won't even answer the phone. They won't text. They won't respond to your text. They won't do anything. They're letting you know, man, I was just in the moment and it touched me, but reality done sat in. I need to watch my football. You know, it's the playoffs right now. I got to see who's going to go to the Super Bowl. You know, or you know, the Olympics are coming on. I need to watch these figure skaters. I need to watch them going down the G Hill or whatever they call that stuff, the G2 or whatever they call that, and or whatever the distraction may be. These are the idols of our fathers. You didn't create NASCAR. You didn't create the NFL or the NBA or the NHL or what have you. No, these are idols that came before us. Somebody else made these idols and we are now picking it up just like our ancestors. Do you follow what I'm saying? We are not here just to congregate. We are here to grow in the Ruach. We are here to cleanse ourselves of what needs to be fixed so that we are without any spot, wrinkle, or blemish when your Abba Yahuah cracks that sky. This walk is difficult. It is. But we can make it more difficult. Let me say that again. This walk is difficult. It truly is, no doubt. But we can make it even more difficult. We don't need to put more stress on ourselves, Mishpachah. We don't need to add more burdens to ourselves. And don't let nobody else put burdens on top of you. Because if Yahuah didn't say it, then it is not for you. When you have people that are telling you, oh, you don't have to keep the law. Oh, you don't have to do this and you don't have to do that. But your creator says you have to do it. And you're just going to brush it off and say, oh, I don't have to do it because you're listening to somebody else who's telling you not to do it. Do you not understand the ramifications that are coming behind that? Do you not understand the punishment? Maybe not for them, but for you, because you have been called. You know better. You are his child. He has opened your eyes and opened your ears and opened your mouth to know who he is so that you confess him out of your mouth. Not them. They want to stick to their traditions. They want to stick to the lies. They want to stick to what feels good. That is not us. We know the reality. We know the facts. We understand the parables. Do you follow me, Mishpachah? If you understand what I'm saying right now, give me a 1 or a 7. If you understand what I'm saying, give me a 1 or a 7. Yes, hallelujah, Yahuah. I know we have a little gap here of delayed, but I know you guys hear it when you guys hear it, and I'm saying it when I'm saying it. So there is a gap of delay from the time that you guys respond to what I'm saying and to the time that I'm seeing it. But we are not to go into these places anymore, right? Now, I know some of you might be going because of your spouse or because you might not be old enough. Some of you might have parents that are telling you need to come with me or what have you. This is a psychological thing that you cannot allow to trip you up, to become a stumbling block in your walk with Abba Yahuah. Yes, today, until the spring equinox, is the Shabbat. There are those who are professing Christians or those who are professing so-called Jews who are practicing Judaism. And they're going to come in, as I've seen some say earlier, today's not the Sabbath. What are you guys all talking about? Again, they haven't been given the eyes to see, nor the information to hear. Because to them, it just sounds like wah, 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 wah. Or maybe better yet, the way they like to do it. And they don't understand. They want to twist up passages and say, well, he's going to come and talk to us with stammering lips and stammering lips and stumbling lips and all of this of a foreign tongue to give themselves a reason why they can talk like that. But Abba Yahuwah is speaking clear to his people. He is speaking very clear to his people. The abominations of our forefathers is still being carried on, and it's getting worse by the minute. Not by the day, by the minute. We see what's going on in our environment. There has been a shift in the mindset of the American public here in this country right now with what is going on. Some people are becoming numb to the situation, and some people are acting out because they see what's happening to the situation. But regardless of what side of that coin that these people are on, they don't know the truth. They don't know what you and I know. You see, we're not a part of this structure. We're just in it. Just like the Messiah said. Let me show you what he said. And need to pay heed to what our Messiah said. Let's go to chapter 17 of Yohanan. John. What does he say there? Notice this. Let's read this chapter. Yahusha said these words and lifted up his eyes to the Shammah and said, Abba, the hour has come. Esteem your image, your son, so that your image also might esteem you. You have given him authority over all flesh, that he should give everlasting life to all those to whom you have given him. And this is the everlasting life, that they should know you, the only true Yahuwah Elohim, and Yahusha, the Mashiach, whom you have sent. I have esteemed you on the Arats, having accomplished the work you have given me that I should do. This right here, Mishpachah. If there's any extras out there listening to me and the voice as I'm speaking right now, when you say that he came here to fulfill the law and that it has been done and it has been nailed to the so-called pagan cross, understand what is being said here. I have esteemed you on the earth, having accomplished the work you have given me. Notice the word accomplished, the work that he was to do. Not you and me. We still have work to do. And now esteem me with yourself, Father, with the esteem which I had with you before the world was. Right there is a twist in the brain. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's talking about two people. It's got to be two people. It must be two people. It has to be a twinity, a bienity, a twin. I have revealed your name to the men whom you gave me out of the world. What is that name? It's not Jesus. We know this. This is the abomination. This is the teachings of those who came before us. We're picking up the idols of our forefathers. The archangel Gabriel didn't come to Joseph and Mary and say, you are to call his name Jesus. He says you're to call his name Yahusha, for he shall save his people from their transgressions. And so what does Yahusha mean? You all know. We talk about it all the time. I am his salvation. And when you try to tell people that Jesus doesn't mean that, they get offended. They get butthurt. They start melting like snowflakes. They'll come across you and they'll speak against you and speak evil of you and say, don't speak like that about the name Jesus. You see, these are the issues that Yahuwah has opened our eyes from. Some people, when they hear a message like this, they automatically shut down. It's not my doing, it's their doing. They don't want to receive the truth. The creator of the heavens and the earth said, I'm going to speak to them. Even though they have eyes to see, they won't be able to see. Even though they have ears to hear, they will not be able to receive this message, to understand it. And it breaks our heart that so many of our family and friends reject this information. They don't realize they're looking at us and thinking that, oh, I'm rejecting what's coming out of your mouth, Jimmy. I don't take it personal because it's not my words. The words belong to Abba Yahuwah. They're not my words. Remember that the next time somebody rejects the words that are coming out of your mouth when you're trying to share the truth with them. Don't take it offensive. You don't have to in any way take a stand in the name of Yahusha. Yahusha is going to defend his word. Yahusha is going to defend the truth. We have nothing to do with that other than to share the truth. What they do with that truth is going to be on them on the day of judgment, whether their life and their name is going to be written in that Lamb's Book of Life or it's going to be blotted out. It's up to them, not to you. Just because you was born into a DNA family does not make that person any closer to you than a person who has come into the truth. A person who has come into the truth is actually your real family, not the one who was born from the same mom and dad as you. They're just another one who's come into this world who's going to go through whatever it is that their life is going to be. Either they are a vessel of honor or they're a vessel of destruction. It's one or the other. Now, yeah, you're going to take it personal, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Just like the Messiah says, what? A prophet is not welcome in their own home. We are not received from our own family and friends. And you'll go away and you feel like you've been rejected. Kind of like how when you was younger, and you want to approach a woman or you want to approach a guy and you want them to notice you and you want them to know that, hey, I find you attractive or something about you makes me feel a certain way. And I just want to make myself known to you. And when they brush you off or shut you down or you're being rejected, that feeling hurts. You wonder if there's something wrong with you. But you see, we serve something greater than ourselves, and we're presenting it to our friends and our family and our coworkers and to the stranger on the street. The words that we're sharing don't belong to us. We don't have to take that rejection like we did when we did something personal when we're presenting ourselves to the opposite sex. This here we are presenting to our human family to know their Father, their Creator, their Maker, and they don't want to know Him. Don't take that personal. Don't take it personal. This is why the Messiah says, once you have admonished them twice and they still don't want to hear you, shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. Shake the dust off of your feet like a bull and keep it moving. Anybody in your way, give them the horns. I'm not talking about physically, I'm just saying, you just keep moving. Just make sure everybody get out your way. You're out of there. You came to do what you came to do, and that was to speak the truth, and the people didn't want to receive the truth, but you did what you were supposed to do. You planted that seed. It's not for you to wonder if that seed and how it planted itself, if it fell on by the wayside or into the thorny bushes, or if it fell into fertile soil. That's not for you to understand. That's for Yahuwah to do. Because again, Yahuwah is the one who does the choosing. He chooses us. We didn't choose him. So are we going to continue on with the abominable things of this world, knowing the time that we're living in and how things are coming at a rapid pace. You guys all feel it. I feel it. You all, we talked about this. This is happening right before our eyes right now. These words are just popping off the pages. They're just popping off the pages. But many people don't see it. Some people see it with a Christian understanding. Some people see it with a Muslim understanding. And some people have no understanding. But we see it through the eyes of Yahuah. He's given us the understanding. What's that understanding? First of all, to keep his commandments. To keep his commandments. We're not saved by the commandments. No, that work had to be done by our Messiah. The shedding of his blood is what saves us as we're keeping and trying to practice the truth of what we call the commandments. That's the difference. When you lay aside his commandments, you are turning your back on Yahuah. When he says you are to keep my words and you won't keep his words, which is the commandments, you are turning your back on Yahuah. When he tells you to keep the Sabbath and you say you can keep the Sabbath whenever you feel like, you are turning your back on Yahuah. You're saying I'm a rebel and I can do it however I want. That's what you're saying. I don't need to follow you, master. You've made me free, master, by what you did on the tree, master. So I don't have to keep the commandments because you did it for me, master. But the master didn't say he did it for you. He said he was in your place. He died for you. He took your place. He paid the penalty that you and I are not able to pay to make ourselves right before Yahuah. That's what he did. But you want to turn your back on him. There is nothing more dangerous than for those of us who know this truth to know him and know him intimately. Okay, you know this walk. You know you're supposed to keep the commandments. You know you're supposed to know the Messiah. You know you're supposed to keep his testimony in your mouth. You know you're supposed to be keeping the Shabbat. You know you're supposed to be eating clean. You know you're supposed to be doing his high days. And then you turn around from all of that and you say, like if it was some kind of fad in your life, like it's no longer in your life, like it's no longer cool to walk with Yahuah. Do you understand the ramifications? There's a few places in the scriptures that says that it would have been better for you not to have been born at all than to have tasted and to see that he is tasty. Some of us, if we don't understand how true this is and know how serious your walk is, you're going to wake up to a rude awakening. You think you woke. The only way you're truly awakened by Yah is that you are doing what he has called you to do. Are you going to mess up? Exactly. Yes, you are. That's why the blood was shed for you. Do you get back up? Exactly. That's why he tells you to get back up and to persevere. Are you going to beat yourself down? No, exactly. Why? Because he says the former things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. You are a new creation in the Messiah. Stop thinking about the past and move forward. You cannot walk forward and you're looking in the past. You're going to run into something and it's usually going to be something about your past. And so you stay on that merry-go-round. You get wishy-washy. That's what I was talking about earlier. And that's why you have no direction. You're not focused like a laser, which is the high prize call in Yahusha, the Messiah. He is going to finish that work that is in you, but you got to let him do it. You got to stay in his will. If you walk outside of his will, he says his heart has nothing to do with you anymore. Has nothing to do with you anymore. Because he has revealed himself to you, Mishpachah. He has revealed himself to us, Mishpachah. In fact, when we all come together here in the next couple of months for the beginning of the year, Yahuwah's true year, not this fake pagan calendar year, this thing that happens in the cold, the dead of winter. No, not that. I'm talking about the true Rosh Hashanah, and not like the Jewish people who say Rosh Hashanah is in September. We're not talking about that. They're into something else. They're following other things. They're following the abominations of those who came before them. No, we're talking about the restored calendar, and we're talking about this day that we're about to have when we come together for Pesach and for unleavened bread, for matzah. We're coming together because of him. That's the sole reason why we're coming together. He is the reason. You know how the Extians like to say that JC is the reason for the season when it comes around to their pagan holidays? Well, this is the true reason that we come together for all the high days. Remember, he says, these are my appointed times where all the children of Yasharal are to present themselves before me 3 times a year. You want to be an Extian? You want to be a part of the church? Well, you have nothing to do with Israel, because Israel does what Yahuah, the creator, tells Israel to do. Christians are not Israel. I don't care how many times they want to twist it. I don't care how many times they want to use replacement theology. I don't care how many times they want to call themselves us. They are not us unless they gravitate to us. They must become like us. You cannot make yourself to be us. You have to become one of us. That's what it says all throughout the scriptures. That's it. You can't change it. You can't nullify it. You can't void it out. Just like you did with the commandments, just like you did with the true Messiah, just like you did with the fake cross. All of that stuff has nothing to do with this book right here. This book right here has to do with Israel, Yasharal, not Christianity, not the church, not New Testament only saints, not the tribulation saints. This has to do with Israel and Israel alone. Because he says that it's Israel he is saving. He never says he's saving any Gentiles. The Gentiles must become Israel. You must become supernaturally, and the only way you can supernaturally become Israel is because Yahusha has accepted you, because you have accepted his teachings, and you have accepted his laws, and you have accepted the true Messiah. That's how you become Israel. You do not become Israel by keeping Christianity. This is why so many people are blind. They think they're in the truth, but they're blind. They have eyes to see, but cannot see. They have ears to hear, but they can't hear the true doctrine. Because when you show them in the New Testament that you're still supposed to be keeping the law, they're going to find some kind of way of twisting it and changing it and stretching the word or replacing the word or removing the word altogether and say, this is what it means and this is what I follow and this is what I believe and this is my Savior and this is what I'm going to do. And I'm not keeping your Shabbat. I'm not going to do those commandments. I'm not going to keep the clean days. I'm not going to keep the clean diets. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to keep on doing as the Romans do. And I'm going to call him JC, and I'm going to continue to call him LORD, and I'm going to continue to call him God because that's what I know. And I'm going to keep on doing Xmas because I love the way it makes me feel. And I'm going to keep on having my kids follow and look for the Easter eggs all up in the bushes. Even if there's somebody like a pedophile that's around there looking for them at the same time, I'm still going to do it. This is what this world has become. We got leaders that are pedophiles. Do you understand how twisted this country is? And these are the people who gave you Christianity? It is rotten all the way down to its core. If I had the money, if I was to win this, if I was to hit the lottery, those are all pipe dreams. Why aren't you not content with what Yahuah has shown you and given you to let you know that you are a king and a priest? Let me tell y'all something. This is the way I look at it, okay? This is just me. This is my opinion. I'm talking to you right now about my opinion. I look at the kingdom of heaven as this. Yahuah says, Jimmy, my son, you know you're rich, right? You know everything belongs to you. It's all yours. But for this meantime, I need you to do my work. You're going to be behind enemy lines. You're going to live, modestly, but you're not going to have the house on the hill. You're not going to be driving their best vehicles. You're going to be okay. You're going to be able to sustain, but I need you to do my work. But know that when this is all done, you're coming back here to paradise. What I have set for you, a house that you did not build, a vineyard that you didn't plant. Isn't it beautiful? You got all this money, all these riches waiting on you, Mishpachah. Waiting on you, Mishpachah. All you got to do is reach out and say, Abba Yahuwah, here I am. Send me. Help me to do your will. Show me to love my neighbor as myself. Abba, help me to understand your word. Abba, I see the world dying every day. My own family don't even want to know you as I'm trying to share your truth to them. And I know I have all these wonderful things waiting for me, and I want others to be where they can have it too. That's waiting for them if they should choose to decide to want to grab your hand. It is heartbreaking, but my heart doesn't break for me anymore. My heart used to break for me because of the way I used to walk. Abba has mended my heart. Abba has sealed my heart. He has shown me who I am and what I am to him, even though I don't deserve it. I've shared with all of you my colorful background. You all know that I should be on the electric chair. I should be in a shooting squad. They should hang me. I've done some detestable things to my neighbor. And yet he chose me. He's given me a mouth to speak his word out of this filthy, wretched vessel that I am. But he has saved me. He has purged this body of sin. He has cleansed this body from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. He has renewed my speech, renewed my mind, renewed my eyes and my ears. I want it no other way. If I had to go back and do it all over again through all the pain, torture, the agony, all of it being separated from my friends and family, when I put myself into prison for 8.5 years, I'll do it all over again. I will do every last second of it all over again to be brought right back to this very moment as I'm speaking right now, knowing that I didn't do anything to deserve this. And I think that should in some kind of way identify with some of these actions out here to understand that, yes, exactly, we didn't do anything to deserve salvation. But don't you dare think that you can just go out there and live however you want to live and not follow his commandments, his house rules. You cannot continue on living on this earth that he has created thinking that you're going to enter into his kingdom and you continue to live like the heathen and continue to be like the world and do all of their pomps and circumstances of their holidays. He says, do not worship me as they do. He says, because you won't follow me, I'm going to give you up to the mindset of the heathens. You will become just like the people around you. You will become just like the nations. You're going to follow their holidays. Look at the world. Look at the world. You can walk outside of your house right now, walk down your street, and you can do it for a whole day, and you will not probably run into another person who knows Yahuah and Yahusha and to follow his commandments. I bet you won't find not one. Because we are few and far in between. This is the remnant. This is what the Messiah was saying when he says that he has a few that have not bowed their knee to Baal. And we know Baal equals Lord. There's no way around it. I don't care what the heathens say of Christianity. I don't care how many times they want to say Lord, and I don't care how many times they want to say God. It doesn't make it right. When the Creator himself in Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 27 says that that's exactly what we were going to do. We were going to replace his name and forget his name and call him Baal, which is a substitute for Lord. This is the abomination of our fathers. This is why we have woken up in these last days, in these last times, with all this mess that's going on around us right now. The instability of the nations, raging as the roaring of the seas. This is what's happening right now. I'm telling you, it is not going to be too much longer before all of this stuff hits the fan. We have We got fronts in so many different directions right now that is waiting to be lit. We're talking about some serious octane fuel that is just waiting for a spark. You all know it. You see what's going on. I don't have to go down the list and give you one by one and play on play and the next thing to the next thing. No, you guys see just like what I see. And on top of all of that, we got this AI technology that is literally off the chain. They're not even trying to put borders around it. They want it to be free. You know why? Because they want Satan to be released right out of the book of Revelation, chapter 9. Why do you think they call it Stargate? That man in the White House, Abba Yahuah, I ask that you would change that man's heart. That man in the White House has put your money and my money, the United States taxpayers' money, $500 billion towards their Stargate project. Anybody ever seen the movie or the show called Stargate? Do you know what a Stargate is? It's to another dimension. It's a doorway. It's a portal to another dimension. Let's go to Revelation chapter 9. I know many of you have heard this shared many different ways, but I know Abba Yahuah has given you eyes to see, and he's given you ears to hear, and you're going to see and you're going to hear what his word says about what's getting ready to happen with this Stargate. This is the Stargate, Revelation chapter 9. This is about to occur in our lifetime. Let's read it. And the fifth messenger, the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star from the Shama. Notice that this is a star, and we know stars are indicative of angels. I saw an angel from heaven, which had fallen to the earth. Who is that angel that fell to the earth, Mishpachah? You got eyes to see, you got ears to hear. Let me see it in the comments before we continue on. Who is it? Exactly, Shoshana. Exactly, Queen. Yes, exactly. Imminent collapse. Hazon is the name. That's the Hebrew word for revelation, to reveal. You see it right there? Hazon means revelation. Okay? It's just a Hebrew term for it. Let's continue. Again, I saw a star, an angel from heaven, which had fallen. This is past tense. When John, the Revelator, was given this angel already fell. We know when he fell. He fell before Adam and Eve was created. He had already fell. This is that old ancient Satan, that old serpent of old, called the devil, the dragon, the red dragon, Satan himself, Lucifer in the Latin, the light bringer. Halal, his real name in Hebrew. And the key to the pit of the deep was given to him. Let's rephrase this with modern vernacular, please. And the program to the Stargate was given to him. This right here, Mishpachah, is talking about what they are getting ready to do right now as we speak. This is why they need all this land for data centers. This is why they need all this water to cool off those computers. This is why they need all this energy for the energy sector to keep that thing running, because without the energy, they can't open up that portal. And he, that is this fallen star, this fallen angel, opened up this dimension of the deep, this other dimension. And smoke went up out of the pit, out of this dimension, like the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun was darkened. That is from John's perspective. Looking at this vision, the sun became dark because of the smoke that came out of this dimension. And it filled the air because of the smoke of the pit. That is the smoke coming out of this portal, this stargate. And out of this stargate, this portal, locusts came upon the earth. And authority, power was given to them, as scorpions on the earth possess authority or power. What is a scorpion? This ain't your regular scorpion like we have here in the desert Southwest, the bark scorpion. No. This, again, is a parable. Yahuah is talking to us through symbology. So what is a scorpion? Let's continue. Remember what it says here. They have power. The power was given to these scorpions, okay, that were going to come upon the earth. And they possess this power to have this power of a scorpion. And it was said to them, to these scorpions, that they shall not harm grass of the earth or any green matter of any tree, but only those men, who do not have the seal of Yahuah Elohim upon their foreheads. So this right here lets us know that these scorpions cannot touch Yahuah's anointed, cannot touch the people of Yahuah, cannot touch the Kadashim, the Kodashim, the Talmudim. You may know it in the English vernacular as disciples. And it was given to them, these scorpions, that they should not unalive them. Unalive who? Those who don't have the seal of Yahuah Elohim on their foreheads, but to torture or torment them for 5 months. 5 months. Why is the number 5 with the word months given to us? They have a limited amount of time that they're able to affect them as a scorpion. Let's continue, because it's going to start making sense. But to torture them for 5 months, and their torture, their torment, was like the torture or the pain, the sting of a scorpion when it stings a man. Right here, it's telling you what this scorpion is. Remember, this is parallel. This is parable speech. This is symbolic speech, metaphorical speech. Let's see what the scorpion is. The word interprets itself. Let me use this as in fact, I'm going to use what a Cody Nazareth gave me as my bookmark right now. Let's go to Lucas, also known as Luke. And I want you guys to see this. Let's read this. Remember, we're talking about the authority, the power, the sting of a scorpion. Okay, let's do this. Just to give you guys some context, we're going to start at verse 1. We're not going to read all of chapter 10. I'm going to be hitting highlights of it so you get an understanding, a gif of what's being said here. And after this, the master, that is our Messiah Yahushua, appointed 70 other what? Disciples. 70 disciples, and sent them out 2 by 2 ahead of him into every city and place where he himself was about to go. Then he said to them, the harvest indeed is great, but the workers are few. Therefore, pray to the master of the harvest to send out workers into his harvest. Now, he says that he sends us out as lambs in the midst of wolves. Okay, but now we want to get to the passage about what we're talking about. Remember, scorpions. They have a power. They have this ability to harm humans. And the 70 returned with joy, verse 17, saying, Master, even the demons are subject to us in your name. Notice that, verse 17, even the demons are subject to us in your name. You're starting to figure out who the scorpions are. Let's continue. Just to back it up, you're going to see it even clearer. And he said to them, I saw Shaitan fall out of heaven as lightning. Whoop, let's stop right there. What did we just read earlier? What did John say he saw? I saw a star, an angel from heaven, which had fallen to the earth. What did the Messiah just say here? Let's back it up. I saw Shaitan falling out of the heaven as lightning. Same thing we're reading here. John saw this. Again, I saw an angel, star, fall from heaven, which had fallen to the earth. And it says, and a key was given to him. Well, let's see what this key is all about. Verse 19, see, I give you authority to trample on serpents, that's the devils, and scorpions, that's demons, over all the power of the enemy, and none at all shall hurt you. But do not rejoice in this, that the spirits, the ruachot, are subject to you, but rather rejoice because your names have been written in the Shamaim, in the heavens. So what are we being told here, what we're reading here in Luke chapter 10? Again, remember, they came back and they were excited because even the demons were subject to them in Yahusha's name. But he says, don't marvel at the fact that you have power over these demons. The scorpions is what he's talking about. The same scorpions that we're reading about in Revelation chapter 9. You see this? This is the demons. This is why it says here in verse 5, and it was given to them. Let's go ahead and make it clear. And it was given to these demons, these fallen ones, that they should not kill unalive them who don't have the seal of Alua Elohim on their foreheads. It says, and their torture was like the torture of a scorpion. So let's read this again. And their possession was like the possession of a demon when it stings a man. Do you guys remember about the man who lived in the cave? Let's go there. Let's go to Mark. I believe it's in Mark chapter 5. Remember, it says that these people are going to be possessed for 5 months, and it says death shall flee from them. Okay, they're gonna seek death, but they won't find it. That's possession, my friends. That's what's about to come upon this earth. Let's read this passage here in Mark chapter 5. And they, that is the disciples, came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gadarenes. And when he, that is the Messiah, Yahusha, came out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tomb a man with an unclean spirit, again, a demon, who had in his dwelling among the tombs. He was around the tombs. That's where he lived. That's where he slept. And notice what it says here. And no one was able to bind him, not even with chains, because he had often been bound with shackles and chains, but the chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles broke in pieces, and no one was able to tame him. And continually, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying out and cutting himself with stones. And seeing Yahusha from a distance, he ran and bowed down to him. Now, let me show you something that happens a lot. I brought this up before the last time I brought this up. Notice how it says that he was cutting himself with stones. He was trying to kill himself. He was trying to commit suicide. And he couldn't find it. Do you know why? Because there was how could I put it? There was a virus within this host. This virus is the demon. The host is the man, and the virus wouldn't allow him to kill the host because that virus needed that body. It needed the host to continue to be able to become a being within that body. This is what these demons are able to do. So the whole time while these people are seeking to kill themselves, they can't even die because of the demon that's in them that won't allow them to die. There's other passages about how this man would throw himself in the fire trying to kill himself. He would literally throw himself in the fire trying to die, and he couldn't die. That's what we're reading in Revelation chapter 9. This is what's going on right here. And it goes on and says this, verse 6. And in those days men shall seek death and shall not find it. Why? Because they're demon possessed. And they shall long to die, but death shall flee from them. Why? Again, because they're demon possessed. And the locusts look like horses prepared for battle. But wait a minute, I thought they were scorpions. Nope. Now it's telling you another imagery of what they look like, these scorpions. Okay? So not only do you have demons, but now you're getting ready to talk about these fallen angels. Let's go on. It says here, and the locusts looked like horses prepared for battle, and on their heads were crowns like gold, and their faces were like the faces of men. These are the fallen angels. Remember, they are the sons of Yahuah Elohim. They look like we do, but a little different. And they had hair like women's hair, and their teeth were like lions' teeth. And they had breastplates like breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots of many horses running into battle. Now, when I was younger, because of Christianity influences, I thought it was talking about a helicopter. And then they would show you pictures of an Apache 64 helicopter or Army helicopter that has a mouth with jagged teeth painted on the front. And I thought that's what it was. Uh-uh. To that Cody Jackie. Sure will. This is not talking about your Apache or Comanche or any other type of helicopter. This has nothing to do with military equipment. This has to do with these fallen angels. Remember what it says, what they look like, okay? Notice this. Let's go back and look at it again. And the locusts looked like horses prepared for battle. Not that they were horses, nor that they were like horses in battle. No, they were lined up like horses in the days, back in the days. They're lined up in a line formation. That's how these locusts were formed. They were in formation, ready for battle. It says, and on their heads were like crowns, like gold. Right there is letting you know these are the fallen ones. These are the fallen ones. And then it goes on and says, and they had faces like the faces of men. No Apache helicopter got a face of a man. John knew that much. These things were actual beings. Let's continue. And it says that they had hair like women's hair. Not that they had hair like women, but it's letting you know that they have something flowing off of their head that resembles the hair of a woman with long hair. And then it says that they have teeth that are like lions' teeth. Not that their teeth are like, or that their teeth are lions. No, they have the image, jagged, huge canines, if you will. They had these kind of teeth. And then it goes on and says this, and they have tails like scorpions and stings, and their tails is their authority to harm men for 5 months. So here we see the connection. The demons and the fallen ones. Who are the fallen ones and who are the demons? Remember, the demons are the disembodied spirits of those who came together from the daughters of Adam, and these fallen ones, the sons of Yahuah Elohim, that came down and made it and created these giants, the Nephilim. They are together. And they have over them a king, the angel of the pit of the deep. Yours may say the angel of the bottomless pit. Who is the angel that is going to come out in the future? Not right now, because he hasn't went into the pit yet. But this is telling us that the king that's ruling over these angels and these demons, he comes out of the pit of the deep, out of the abyss. But that doesn't happen until after the 1,000-year period. So he's being told, John is being told, this is the one who is going to be their king, the one that's going to come up out of the bottomless pit. But that's not going to happen until after the 1,000 years when he comes back up out of the bottomless pit, chapter 20 of Revelation. So it's identifying who is the king. They had a king over them, the messenger of the pit, or the angel of the pit of the deep, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon. But in the Greek, his name is Apollyon. Abaddon, Apollyon. In the English, it means destroyer. Who's the one who goes out to seek, kill, and destroy? It's Satan. He's the angel from the bottomless pit. So here it says, the first woe is past. This, my friends, is going to happen at the exact same time as what we know as the beginning to usher in the mark of the beast. Because this is when Satan is earthbound. There is no longer room for him in the heavens. He is kicked down to the earth, just like it says here in Revelation chapter 12. The problem with many people when they read the book of Revelation, they think it's all in unison, or in the sense of it being, what's the word I'm looking for? They think it's in, oh man, I can't even think of the word right now. One of you could probably know exactly what I'm talking about. They think that it's in chronological order. Chronological order. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you. You helped me out there, teacher. They think that it's in chronological order. Revelation is not written in chronological order from chapter 1 to chapter 22. There is, if I remember correctly, when I did this study last, I think there's like 3 retellings of the same event, and they all culminate to then line up in a chronological order all the way to chapter 22. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So remember what we just read here in Revelation chapter 9 about this fallen angel, okay? And how he is the one who is going to be the king over these angels, all right, that come out of this stargate, out of this portal. Now, how do we know that these angels are the fallen angels? Let me show you something and give you a little bit of understanding here. If you go back and you start reading about these 7 trumpets, and we were talking about the 5th trumpet, okay? The first trumpet has to do with 1/3 of the trees being burnt up. The second angel, or the second trumpet, 1/3 of the ships are destroyed, and 1/3 of the sea life is destroyed. The third angel blows his trumpet, and 1/3 of the rivers and all fresh water, or not all, but 1/3 of the rivers and 1/3 of the fresh water has been turned to blood, or has been contaminated. The fourth trumpet talks about how 1/3 of the sun, moon, and the stars did not shine their light as bright. It was diminished by 1/3. So you notice that there's this pattern about 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So if the first 4 have to do with 1/3 of something, then this one, even though it doesn't say anything about 1/3, it's speaking about 1/3 of the angels that fell. This is why I was saying you have to be able to understand how this all is layered. It doesn't say anywhere in this part of the chapter about the 5th seal, or the 5th trumpet, about it being 1/3 of the angels, but we know that it has to do with 1/3 of the angels, and I'm going to take you there. Revelation chapter 12. Remember what it says here. Verse 3, and another sign was seen in the heaven, and see a great fiery red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and having 7 crowns on his head. And his tail draws a what? 1/3 of the stars, 1/3 of the angels of heaven, and throws them to the earth. When does this happen? Verse 7, and there came to be fighting in the heaven. Michael, you may know him as Michael, and his messengers, his angels, fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his messengers, his angels, fought, but they were not strong enough, nor was a place found for them in the Shama any longer. This right here culminates to the same time that that portal is open, that stargate, that door to this other dimension that's going to allow these things to enter into our dimension, and Yahuah is going to allow this to occur because these are the things that must take place. Yahuwah is allowing Satan to come here with his wrath to test his people. This is why this AI technology is going at a rapid pace. It's accelerating. Satan knows that his time is short. These fallen angels know that their time is short. They know what's going on, and yet they're going to try to see if they can change the history that is to come because of this AI technology. This is just my opinion. I truly feel and believe that Satan, with this technology, believes that he can open up a totally different dimension where Yahuwah doesn't exist. This is why he continues to do what he's doing. He really thinks he's going to escape the day of judgment. He thinks he's able to open up some other ethereal place where Yahuwah doesn't exist, and he alone with his third of the angels and whatever else that he's going to want to create over there, that he's going to be able to be the domain or the God of the domain of that area. But this is why he's doing these crazy things. Hold on one second, you guys. Let me put this on mute. So again, this is how you know this passage of Revelation chapter 9. I had a look at another text message that was coming through. I apologize, you guys. TORAH Ta'aki. We're gonna go one more hour and then we're gonna break and then come back. And so it says again about this messenger, this angel. He is the one who has the power that Yahuwah is going to give the authority, the key to the bottomless pit, to open up this other cavernous pit, this dimension, if you will, to allow these fallen ones to enter into our dominion. It's one thing to manifest themselves as they do. Satan manifests himself to our Messiah in the wilderness, okay? But it's another thing when they're able to open up this portal and bring out the titans, to bring out these giants, to bring out these fallen ones upon our earth. This is why the Messiah says that men's hearts shall be failing them for what they see that's coming upon the earth. None of this is science fiction anymore. This is a reality. This is a reality. And with AI technology, they're gonna tell the computer, how do we, or ask the computer, how do we do this and do that? How do we open up and make this portal stable over at CERN in Switzerland? They're about to get their answer, and Yahuwah is about to allow them to do so. But know this, just like it was in the days of the Tower of Babel, Yahuwah is going to come down and he's going to stop it. He has to stop it, because if they go unchecked, they're going to have everlasting life, and they're going to destroy everything and everybody who is not connected to them. That's not part of the beast system. And this is why the Messiah says, unless he had shortened them days, no flesh shall be saved. So this is the first woe. When this first woe happens, we are in the Great Tribulation. This lines up with, let's go to the seals. This lines up, when this happens, either the third seal or the fourth seal, because by the fifth seal, we're already being unalived for this truth. So the fallen ones come between the third and the fourth seal. Is one of these two that they enter into our dimension. This is when what you read in Revelation chapter 9 that we just went over, the fifth trumpet is going to occur. There will only be two more trumpets after that. Let's read those. Remember, this was the first woe, but there's two more woes coming. The first woe brings about the great tribulation, the great testing. The next two woes We are deep into the Great Tribulation, waiting for the seventh trumpet. The seventh trumpet, which is the last woe, is when we are resurrected, when we are changed in the twinkling of an eye, when we come back with the Messiah with great wrath, because that wrath now is the wrath of Abba Yahuah, and we are his battle axe. We are the ones who go out and we are going to destroy everything in this earth that commits an offense against Yahuwah's commandments, his Torah, the same Torah that Christianity says has been done away with. That is nothing but the understanding of Satan. Satan doesn't want to follow the Torah, hence why he is the father of lies. He is the rebel from the very beginning. He's the first one to rebel against Abba Yahuwah's commandments. So let's read about the sixth trumpet. The sixth trumpet. Release the four messengers, the four angels, those having been bound at the great river Euphrates, and the four messengers, those having been prepared for the hour and the day and the month and the year, were released to unalive a third of mankind. What did we just talk about the trumpet judgments? How was it always talking about a third of this and a third of this and a third of this and a third of this? Remember, a third of trees are going to be burnt up. A third of the sea life is going to be destroyed. A third of the oceans are going to be turned to blood. A third of the ships are going to be destroyed. A third of the fresh water and the fresh rivers are going to be destroyed or contaminated. A third of the angels are going to fall down to the earth and they're going to cause and create havoc. And now we see here that it says a third of mankind is going to be destroyed at the sixth trumpet. So if this is a third of everyone, a third of mankind being unalived at this time, then what would be the seventh trumpet? What would the seventh trumpet represent as a third of what? This is the first resurrection. A third of mankind. A third from Adam and Eve, or Adam and Yahuwah, until this moment of the seventh trumpet being blown. There's a third of all humanity who believed and trusted and tried their best to keep the laws of Yahuwah. They shall be resurrected. It doesn't tell us that it's going to be a third, just like it didn't tell us about the fifth trumpet, about a third of the angels falling, but we know this has to do with a third of mankind being saved. Marcy Phillips, so you asked a question. How many seals have been broken? From my understanding so far, I know the first one has been broken, and I believe the second one has been broken. We're living in the second one right now. And if it hasn't been broken, it's about to be broken because it's talking about a world war. But these seals are going to break open very quickly after the world war. The third seal is going to come right after that, which is going to be a rationing of food. There's going to be, famine on the earth because of this war. There's going to be a disruption in supply lines, supply chains, your food that's being distributed by 18-wheelers and by ocean-going liners. These things are not going to make it to the marketplace like they are right now. So if you're not growing your own food and you don't have it in a greenhouse so it won't be contaminated by fallout, because you're going to see, and I'm going to see, we're going to witness weapons of mass destruction that is going to unalive billions of people in a short amount of time. And out of that is going to come this mark of the beast system. They know the areas that they want to destroy. They know the areas, Satan knows the areas that he wants to protect, because he can't just go out just destroying everything, because he would then be destroying his infrastructure. Satan needs to come into this world, and the only way he can have that happen is they have to continue on with the AI technology. So certain areas will not be targeted, but you can best believe city centers, large metropolitan areas, areas where so many people live that they know that to them, I'm not talking about to us, but to them, these people that are being put in place by Satan, who are going to have their rule and authority for a short amount of time with him as kings. They're going to give in all their authority to him, and they are going to be subjected to him, but they are the ones who is going to go around and start rounding up the people. Just like you're seeing what's happening right now in the United States of America. They're giving us a taste of what they're getting ready to do. We're getting a taste of Germany right now. The Fourth Reich is here. It's here. You can be blind all you want, maybe because you're a Caucasian. And I'm not saying that because I'm picking on any Caucasians, but again, it'd be like us that are melanated. If somebody, one of our people, was doing that, we might be like, skittish to say, no, that dude ain't Hitler. He's not acting in the way of Hitler. Look at what they're doing right now. All of this is what's getting ready to go down. They are getting ready to depopulate. Satan doesn't need all of us on this earth. These cronies that are been put in power by Satan, they don't need many of us anymore. Why? Because of AI technology, cyborg technology, transhumanism technology. They're getting ready to bring all this out and ushering it all in with taxpayer money. So what are they going to do with us? Metro areas, destroy a gang of us, up in smoke. Because to them, we're just nothing but cattle anyway. We're subhuman to them. These people are going around corralling people, targeting people because of the color of their skin or because they have an accent. This right here is showing us exactly what it said in one of Paul's letters when he says in the last days that many people's hearts shall grow cold. They'll be lovers of themselves, but they will not be lovers of their neighbors. And that's one of the prerequisites, one of the requirements to be Yahuwah's children, is that you are to love your neighbor as yourself. You're even supposed to love your enemy. I don't know how much clearer it can get, but you look at evangelical Christians and they're over here funding and feeding the beast machine, the military machine, and saying, yeah, go do this. We stand with Israel. And what is Israel doing? These fake people that they're calling Yah's people. They're unaliving people left and right. You need to stop looking at things from a Democratic point and a Republican point. It's you with Yahuwah and them. That's it. There is nothing else. It's either you're with Yahuwah or you're with them. That's it. Because that's what it's going to come down to. When it's all said and done, it has nothing to do with you being American or you being Mexican or you being German or you being Australian or wherever you are. That has nothing to do with you and your salvation if you even have it. It's between you and Yahuwah. Doesn't matter that you do all of these other things or you identify yourself as one of these things. That has nothing to do with any of this. But this is what Christianity is doing right now in our face. There's a lot of people, and I'm talking about a lot of people from every ethnic group who are evil. Do you hear what I'm saying? Doesn't matter about your color of your skin. There is evil in all of us. All you have to do is tap into it. I've known that. I've done it before in my past. All I had to do was tap into evil, and I was doing evil deeds and evil things. So all of us are susceptible to doing evil. All of us can be possessed by wickedness. But now it's time for you to fight. It's time for us to strive to enter into the light. This is why I say we're not better than anybody else because we came into this truth. No, Abba Yahuwah opened our eyes. He gave us the understanding. That's why we're here right now. That's why we're all together right now on this day. Because this is his day, admonishing who he is and what he has done and what he is getting ready to do for his people and what he is going to eradicate off of this earth, because there are a whole bunch of people on this earth who do not love our Abba Yahuwah, who do not love our creator, and they're all about the other one, Satan. They love Satan's ways. They love the darkness. They love the darkness. Look at everything we got around us right now. They even make evil look attractive. Look at the vehicles. All the vehicles look dark and wicked and evil. And we're like, dang, that looks aggressive. Wow, I like the way it stands. And it does. It looks appealing to the eyes. I'm not lying. I mean, if I see a Lamborghini out there all stretched out, lowered and everything with some nice fat slicks on the back, I'm like, wow, that thing sits nice. That thing is aggressive. But it's dark. Like Lamborghini Diablo. Any of you who speak Spanish, you know what, you don't even have to speak Spanish to know what Diablo is. It's the devil. Dodge Hellcat. Come on now. What else do I have to say? Dodge Demon. What? Come on. Huh? Look at the sign of the Corvette symbol. It's a Baphomet sitting on the hood of the Chevrolet Corvette. I mean, the list goes on and on. The stuff that is in this world is straight up demonic. Same thing with clothing. Everything has been tainted and twisted and perverted by Shaitan. Pretty much you can't wear any logo or any kind of thing that you're wearing because it's somehow attached to the dark side. Nike, Adidas, Lotto, Puma, what's the other ones? I mean, you guys name it, it's out there. Reebok. You go far back enough, it's either connected to one of the Ish people or it has something to do with something dark. Like Balenciaga, whatever they call that stupid company that makes all this designer wear. Straight up demonic. This is where we're at. And you'd have to be blind not to notice it. People just no, this ain't nothing. No, this is what I am. This is what I wear. This is what I rock. This is what I drip in. This is what I do. You know, if it ain't Gucci, I don't put it on me. What? You become somebody's idea and you're wearing it on your body as if you are the one who put it together. But you know why you're wearing it? You know why you all want this fashion statement? Because that's exactly what it is. It's a statement. I got money. But you see, with us with eyes, we say, yeah, you done sold out. You done gave in. You have taken the bait. You done drank the Kool-Aid. Same thing with everybody who walks into those Christian churches. When they come out and I see, yeah, you done drank the Kool-Aid. You done bought into the lie. You worshiping the false beast, I shouldn't say false beast, the false Messiah, the beast. And you don't even know who it is that you're worshiping because you haven't looked down. You haven't went down that rabbit hole. You don't want to know. Just like my cousin would say when I try to tell her, do you know what they put in Taco Bell meat? I don't want to know, Jimmy. I'm like, why? Because you don't want, if I tell you, you're going to stop eating it, huh? No. Ignorance is bliss. They don't want to know. The same thing with Christianity. I don't want to know, Jimmy. Don't tell me that Jesus ain't the Messiah. To me, he's the Messiah. Blonde hair, blue-eyed and all. That's mine. That's who I worship. Well, you go ahead with your bad self. You don't need to wake up. You continue to stay in the matrix. You stay in the blind matrix and you continue to take on the blue pill because you can't handle the true red pill. You want to stay there. And then when people try to tell you the truth, you act like you already have the truth. You don't have the truth. You have the lie and don't even know it. That's what it means to be deceived. Satan has deceived the entire world using Christianity, and most of you don't even see it. That's what bothers me. People think I'm upset with them or anyone who is a Christian. I'm not mad at you. You know what I'm mad? I'm mad at Satan for causing us to believe the lie. You didn't create Christianity. I didn't create Christianity. Even Constantine himself didn't create Christianity. Christianity was created by Satan. Revelation chapter 17. The beast is the one who is supporting the woman who is riding the beast. The woman is Christianity. But people don't have eyes to see. No, because it's like when you talk about Christianity, it's like you're talking about their family. It's like you're talking about their moms. Oh, no, don't talk about my religion. Exactly. That's your religion. It's religious. Religiosity is going to get you unalive because you didn't want to fall in line with the truth. So how does it go? How does it go when you have all the world not understanding this truth? You see it right before you outside your doorstep. We got a whole world of rebellious people. We got a whole world of lawless people who do not want to subjugate themselves to the laws of Abba Yahuah. That's why the world is like this. If we were all to do his law, guess how much better this world would be? If we go by the mindset of Christianity that Jesus then told us that we don't have to follow the law no more, this is exactly what we got right now in this world. Even if the whole entire world became Christian, you would still have this problem that we have right now because they're lawless. They don't follow the laws of Yahuah. You're still going to have your Roman Colosseums. You're still going to have your Roman sports. You're still going to have your Roman dramas that you call, what do they call that? Soap opera drama. You're still going to have your so-called reality TV shows. All that is because of Christianity. All of this has been given to us by Christianity. They said this stuff is legal. You can do it because it's been legalized. Yah says, no, that's unlawful. But we say it's legal. But yet it's still unlawful in the eyes of Yahuah. You can't take something that's unlawful and legalize it and now say that it's lawful according to us. Yahuah says what is lawful is lawful. What is unlawful will always be unlawful. It never changes. But what legalism has done, it can make anything that is unlawful, I can't even say it right, unlawful, legal. That's what Christianity has done. That's the books on the laws of this land. They call this a Christian country. Why do you think this country is the way it is? Because it comes from Rome. This country is a part of Rome. We talked about this yesterday. Rome hasn't gone anywhere. It's not going to revive. It's always been around. It's never died. It just dispersed all over the earth. And certain areas of the world don't want the Roman exposure. This is why the Roman Western countries are going against those countries by going to war with them, by putting sanctions on them. And if the sanctions don't work, then they start dropping bombs and bullets and missiles. This has been their MO since the beginning of the Holy Roman Empire. They come in with the book, and if the book doesn't work, then they come in with the sword. This has been going on for years. We know Satan's tactics. We know what we're fighting against. We're not fighting against President Trump. He's being influenced by the dark side. We're not fighting against the Republicans, Democrats. They're all being influenced by the dark side. We're not being influenced or following any of these people who are of leadership positions. No, they're all being influenced by the dark side. They're of the world. We're not of this world. Which takes us back to John chapter 17 that I didn't get finished to read. Notice what it says here. Verse 15, I do not law that you should take them out of the world, but that you keep them from the wicked one. They are not of the world as I am not of the world. So now let me ask you, so-called people of the book, you and I, are you keeping yourself like the world? Or are you like the Messiah? Are you truly walking like the Messiah is walking? Remember, we're to walk as he walked. I'm not saying that you're perfect. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking that if you understand how you are to conduct yourself as the Messiah conducted himself, are you at least trying to do that? If you are, then you belong to him. This is what he's talking about right here. They are not of the world as I am not of the world. Set them apart in your truth. Your word is truth. This is where many people fall off the horse and the wagon, the carriage, because they're not following his word. And his word is truth. People want to change his word. Anita C. from Nigeria. If you're here, Anita, we want to welcome you as a first-time guest. I want to appreciate you coming in. Our Aki Steve has acknowledged you as one who is seeking the truth. And so we need to make sure that we're following the ways of Yahuah. His word is how we know how to follow him. Again, your word is truth. As you have sent me into the world, I also sent them into the world. You see, this is our commission. We are not to hide ourselves in our four walls. We are to go out and share, expose this truth to everyone so that they too can make the choice. Either they're going to adhere to it or they're going to reject it. How are they going to know the truth unless you're sent out? He sent us out. How are they going to know this word unless someone gives it to them? He's given it to you. We've been teaching lies to people in Christianity for a very long time, using the same scriptures, but twisting it. How would they hear the gospel unless somebody is sent? How would they know the truth unless somebody tells it to them? Blessed are they who come in the name of Lord with the what? The gospel, the great news. And for them, I set myself apart so that they too might be set apart in the truth. You guys notice that I have the word set and set right here taken out. This is when I was following some people about, oh, we can't say certain words, and I thought I couldn't say set because they were connecting it to a deity over in Egypt. But that's not what we're saying here. It's not used or being applied that way. It's different when the word set is being applied that way. Just going off into another tangent real quick. I'm just saying there's people that want us to try to clean up all of our words, this so-called legalese speech. And that's not even of Yahuah. We're talking about certain things that has to do with demonic influences. Those are the things that we don't say, like Jesus and Lord and God and Christ. And I do not pray for these alone, but also for those believing in me through their word. That's why we have the book. This is how we got their word. The Talmudim wrote down the so-called Besoras, you know it as a gospel. These epistles, also known as letters. Yahusha is over here telling us, prophesying, letting us know before it happens, that he does not only pull off for these alone, but also for those believing in me, which means to obey in him through their word, through their teachings, that Yahuah has taught them through his teachings. Same thing he says over here at the end of Matthew, the Great Commission. Teaching them to guard all that I have commanded you. Teaching them to guard or to keep all that I have commanded you. But what does Christianity say? No. We're not following that. No. That's not what he's talking about. He just told us to go out and just immerse people. We just baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and the settled part Spirit. Our job is done. They're saved now. They confess with their mouth and believe in their heart. They're saved. How long have we believed this erroneous doctrine? How long have we been sharing the same poison to others? And while we're saying that to them, we don't give them any kind of prerequisites of what they're supposed to follow and what the guidelines are, what the boundaries are, what the perimeters are. And we just say, yep, you're a born again Christian. Go do as the world does. Just come back here every Sunday. Make sure you bring your pocketbook. Don't forget the pocketbook. You got to pay to play. You got to pay to play. You want to be a Christian? Pay up. You want to hear some of this goody two-shoe doctrine that you're going to heaven? Pay up. I'm going to make sure you know you're going to sit next to Peter. Don't worry about it. We got that reserved for you up in the heavens already. Just make sure you pay this money. This is the false laws that we was reading about in Ezekiel. He gave us up over to these fake traditions of men, seeming like they had some righteousness in them. That's what Christianity has taught all of us. How can Christianity be wrong? It's teaching us all this stuff about how we're supposed to love our neighbor as ourselves and how we're supposed to love God. Yeah, but you're not following what he says on how you love him. You just say you love him out of your mouth, but your heart is far from him because your heart is supposed to be doing the commandments. After all, that is the new agreement. He said he was going to write the laws upon your heart. But you say those laws are erased as if they don't matter. They're invisible in your heart. You know why? Because it's not in your heart. He hasn't written it in your heart because you have not accepted it. So you are not born again. You are not one of his people. You are a born again Christian, but you are not a born again believer. You're a born again Christian. Let's make that straight. You must be born again, not according to man's traditions, not according to the Christian traditions, but according to what the Messiah told Nicodemus. What did he tell Nicodemus? Let's see if Christianity does these things. Let's go to John chapter 3. Let's read this. Let's see if this passes the Christian smell test. John chapter 3, verse 1. And there was a man of the Pharisees, name was Nicodemus, or Nicodemon, was his name, a ruler of the Yahudim. He was one of the rulers or leaders of the Jews, the true Jews, not the fake Jews with the curly locks and the black hats and they got the black box on their forehead. We're not talking about them. This one came to Yahushua, the Messiah, by night and said to him, Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher that has come from Yahuah Elohim, for no one is able to do these signs you do if Yahuah Elohim is not with him. Yahushua answered and said to him, truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born from above, he is unable to see the kingdom of Yahuah Elohim, the reign of the Mighty One. Nicodemus said unto him, how is a man to be able to be born when he is already old? Is he able to enter into his mother's womb a second time to be born? And Yahushua answered and said, truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born of water, that's your natural birth, breaking of the water, and the Ruach, the spirit, that's the regenerated birth from above, he or she is unable to enter into the reign of Yahuah Elohim. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, that's water, and that which is born of the spirit is spirit, that's spirit. Do not marvel that I said to you, you have to be born from above. The wind blows where it wishes, and you hear the sound of it, but you do not know where it comes from and where it goes. So is everyone who has been born of the Ruach. Nicodemus answered and said to him, how is it possible for this to even take place? Yahushua answered and said to him, are you supposed to be a teacher of Yasharal and you don't know this? Are you supposed to be a pastor, a preacher, a teacher, an evangelist, a minister, a reverend, and you don't know this simple foundational truth? Wow. Truly, truly, I say to you, we speak what we know and witness what we have seen, and you do not receive our witness. You do not receive our testimony. You do not receive our testament. If you do not believe when I spoke to you about these earthly matters, how are you going to believe when I speak to you about the heavenly ones? And no one has gone up into the Shama except he who came down from the heaven, that is the son of Adam, that's himself, the Messiah. And as Masha lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so the son of Adam has to be lifted up. And we knew this to be that he was going to be hanging from a tree on our behalf, so that whoever is believing in him should not perish, but possess everlasting life. Now, we all know the next verse, but this is why, again, anytime you isolate scripture, you don't get the full context. Again, let's read verse 15 before we go to the world's famous passage of 3:16. So that whoever is believing in him should not perish. Let's look up that word believing. And I know most of you already know this, but there's some new people in here and they need to see it for themselves. Because again, what did the Messiah say? He said, I didn't come to those who are already well, who don't need a physician. I have come to the sick. That's who we're talking to today. Those who need a physician. You and I already have the great physician. We have the Messiah. He dwells within us. But let's see what it says here about this word believing. And so this passage is out of chapter 3 of John, and it's verse 15. So let me blow this up before I show it to you guys. All right. There it is, John 3:15. That whosoever believeth in him, meaning our Messiah, should not perish, but have eternal life or everlasting life. Let's look at this word believe. G4100. Let's click on it. Let's open it up here in the dictionary. I am using what is known as eSword. G4100. Pistu. It comes from G4102. We're going to look at that in a minute. To have faith in, upon, or with respect to a person or thing that is credit, by implication to entrust, especially one spiritual well-being to the Messiah. Believe or a believer, commit or to trust. And I don't know why that is not showing all of it. Let me see if I can open that up a little bit more. Hold on one second. There we go. Had to open up the window a little bit. Commit to trust, put in trust with. So let's look at the etymology of this word pistu, which is where they get the word believe. Look at this. Pistu comes from pistis. This is a Greek word. I'm going to save you all the trouble. Let's go straight down here. Notice what it says here as it goes into this persuasion and credence and all of this. And it goes down to, and it says here, assurance, belief, faith, fidelity, right? Now, let me see if I can do this. See if it'll let me do it. Hold on. Because now it's telling us it comes from 3982. I don't know if I can click on that. Nope, it ain't going to let me do it. Where's my... Hold on, let me see if I can put it in here. Give me a second. 4102. Give me a second. Let me put it in here. G4102. Is that it? Oh, no, that's the opposite. That didn't give me G4102. That gave me 3640. Well, pretty much what I wanted to show you, if I don't know why it's not acting right, but it means to obey. Okay, the word believe means to obey. So if we go back and we look at this, verse 15, so that whoever is believing or obeying him should not perish, but possess everlasting life. The word believe seems like you don't have to do anything, but just say, oh yeah, I accept you. I believe you. That's the way we see it in the English. But the word believe is a verb. It's an action word. Something you're supposed to do. The thing that you're supposed to do is to what? Obey. That's what it means to believe. You can't believe someone if you don't obey that. That's the problem. Obedience is key. Yes, exactly, Yason. So now let's read the word, which is the next verse. For Yahuah Elohim so loved the world. Now, this is where a lot of our Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters like to twist and say, he didn't mean the world. He's talking about us, only us melanated people. No, you can keep on stretching it all you want. And as my Aki Al would say, you can do all the gymnastics you want with that word, but it is not going to change the definition. World is world, okay? It doesn't mean the lost tribes. Let's continue. That he gave his only brought forth son, so that everyone who believes in him, again, the same word, obeys in him, should not perish, but possess everlasting life. For Yahuah Elohim did not send his son into the world to judge the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He who believes or obeys in him is not judged, but he who does not obey is judged already, because he has not believed or he has not obeyed in the name of the only brought forth Son of Yahuah Elohim. Now, you might say, well, it doesn't say obey in the name. What's in the name? What's in the name? The name says that he is going to save us from our transgressions. So if he's going to save us from our transgressions, how do you put your trust in him? Unless it's in his name. This is why he says, everyone who calls upon the name of Yahusha shall be saved. That's an action word. You just don't go around professing it and not doing it. This is why he said, you profess me with your mouth, but your heart is far from me. You're not doing what I've told you to do. Why do you say you believe in me and yet not do what I say? That's what he said. Those are his words, not mine. You say you believe in me, but you don't do what I say. What he's telling you is believe and obey are together. They're intertwined. You can't have one without the other. This is why I said when you read this in its context, Christianity does not pass the smell test. Because Christianity only want to have this superficial understanding of belief in him by professing him with your mouth and saying that you have accepted him in your heart. This magical prayer that doesn't exist anywhere in scripture. Come here to the front. Come here to the altar. I'll pray for you. Repeat after me. And now that they got you over here believing that you have this fake conversion, that you have had this born again experience, which the Messiah just told Nicodemus how you are to have this, you have to be born again. You must be born from above. You must been immersed in the Ruach HaKodesh, the Spirit. The Spirit is the one who reveals the truth to you. The Word is the truth. We just went over all of this. It's all line by line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. You got to connect the dots. You can't just have this one dot here all by itself, isolated, over here isolating one verse and saying, see, I'm saved because I confess with my mouth and I believe in my heart, I'm saved, according to Romans chapter 10, verse 9 and 10. It doesn't work like that. And this is what the world is finding out. And this is why the state of this world, because of Christianity, this is the world that we have right now, because of Christianity. When you look at the way this world has been conducting itself, I mean, just think about it for a second. Let's just look at it without anybody telling us anything. I just want to share this with you. Just think about it. If we believe that this country in 1776 was these pilgrims that came over here from Great Britain who wanted to flee from King James and the Church of England so that they can worship how they feel, and they bring with them the so-called King James version with them. Wait a minute, I thought you were trying to leave the Church of England. Why are you bringing their document with you? That's kind of an oxymoron in itself. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead with this story. So they come over here and they set up what they call the colonies. But this is where we stop thinking. We just allow them to teach us about the U.S. history, like we were taught in 8th grade. Being good old Susies and Tommies, we're just going to sit there and let them just talk to us because, again, we're very, what's the word I'm looking for? Impressionable. You know, you can teach us whatever. We're going to take in whatever the teachers say because, after all, they're older than us. They're supposed to know. We're learning. We're the pupils. They're the teachers. And then they say, and then we had the original 13 colonies. Why 13? They don't want to tell you why 13. Because if they tell you what the 13 represents, it's going to expose the whole game of what this whole country is supposed to be about. But no, they just keep it going. And they make us put our hand over our heart, and we face this piece of cloth in our classroom, as if this thing can see us and it's alive and we're all facing it together like some good old Nazi kids, the Hitler boys and girls. And we're going to look up at this cloth and we're all going to say the Pledge of Allegiance, that we put our allegiance to this flag of the United Snakes of America, for which it stands. And what does it stand? What does it stand for? It doesn't stand for Yahuah. It definitely has to do with Christianity and the Roman Christianity. That's what we've been given. And we took it. Ask no questions. Anybody who runs for president or for governor or any official state office, long as they say they're Christians, oh, he's got my vote, she's got my vote, they're Christian. That's all I needed to know. You got my vote. That's how superficial and shallow we are as a people. And then we call ourselves, oh, we're the beacon on the hill, the country that has 1,000 lights. We're supposed to be the light to the world. The last time I read, the scripture said that Yahusha is the light to the world. How in the world did America become the light of the world? And then you're going to show this pagan deity called the Statue of Liberty, who is nothing no different than what we know as the Queen of Heaven. And we know that's an androgynous image of Satan. All of this is in our face. And I've shared this before. And then you have the Pentagon, which is supposed to be the headquarters of the Department of Defense. Now they call it the War Department or whatever it is that they're doing now. But anyways, that's a pagan symbol, satanic symbol. But yet they want us to believe that it all came out this book. It's all about the true Messiah. That they changed the name and they changed all of his teachings and they changed who they are. And yet they're going to tell us, but it's in the book. Yeah, because you wrote it in the book. You put the word Christian in there. You put the name Jesus in there. You put the name G-O-D in there. You put the name L-O-R-D in there. And then you want us to accept it and say, well, my Bible says, yeah, your man-made Bible does say all those things, but that's not what Yahuah told the prophets to write. That's the lying pens of the scribes. Beware of the scribes, the ones who scribble down these words. And I can show you right in scripture where it said they were going to whitewash this history. This has nothing to do with my Akis and Akodis who are of the lighter complexion. Has nothing to do with it. You guys know me, the ones who truly know me. You know I got Caucasian blood in me, okay? So I am not in any way coming down on any of the Caucasians. What I'm talking about is the Caucasian mindset. There are those, and I'm not talking about all Caucasians. I have to say that so none of you think that I'm preaching hate, because I'm not. We're talking about just like in the melanated sect, okay? I was just talking about the Hebrew Israelites who say that John 3:16 doesn't represent the whole world, okay? Remember, so I'm saying both sides here. So don't think that I'm over here looking at one with favoritism and the other one without favoritism. No, right is right, wrong is wrong. It don't matter what color or paint job you got. Either you're standing with the right or you're going to be committing the wrong. It's one or the other. No gray area. But the mindset of these Caucasians who are running this world, who it's been told to us through prophecy that the Japhites, who are the Europeans, would be the expansionists of this world and they would take it. They are going to take it. This is written all the way from the very beginning in Genesis chapter 9 that the Japhites were going to move into the tents or the boundaries of Shem. They were going to take it. I said this yesterday. You look at any ethnic group of people out there. Did the Philippines go around and conquering other lands? No. The Philippines are on the Philippine Islands. Well, let's look at some of like the Chinese. Did the Chinese people going and pillaging other countries and taking over to this very day? No. China is still within China. Now, if you want to talk about the Mongols, that's a little different. We're talking about a different time with Genghis Khan. And even then, they weren't considered Chinese. They were Mongolians. I'm talking about countries right now that exist, that is still going around, and that are expanding their horizons. This has been the part of the Japhites' blood from the beginning. Who has colonialized the earth? Go to Africa. Look at all those different countries in Africa. Who separated those countries by boundaries in Africa? The African people didn't do that. Those are your Europeans that did that. Who did the same thing in the Middle East with Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and Qatar and Iraq and Iran and Libya and Lebanon and Syria and the so-called Israel and Turkey, all that area? Who cut up all those pieces like that? It was the Europeans. British Parliament, to be exact. Who was the ones that went over here and where they say that the sun doesn't set on the Empire of Britain? Why do they say that? Because Britain went all over the world. This is part of the Japhites' bloodline. This is what they do. They ended up in Australia. They ended up in New Zealand. And by the way, they named those places that. They ended up with all what they call the Solomon Islands. They did all of that. They went to South Africa and took over Africa, the southern part of Africa. They did that. They did that here in the United Snakes of America. They're the same ones who gave us the 13 colonies, the original colony. They did the same thing in Canada. No one else has done this kind of mess. This is the Caucasian mindset. Look what Trump just did with Venezuela. Now he wants to take over Greenland. This is the mindset of the Caucasian. You don't have the Congos going around wanting to take some other country. You don't have the Nigerians wanting to go and take over another country. You don't have the Japanese, the Koreans, or any of those other countries wanting to take over another country. No, this is what these people do. Either you line up with this truth or you can continue to believe in the lie. And that's what's happening in this world today, because people are so snowflakey. When you start bringing out this kind of truth, they start turning the eye. They start wanting to plug up their ears, and they walk away with disgust and disdain and being very disrespectful. But guess what? Not all Caucasians have that mindset. And I'm thankful that I have so many Caucasian brothers and sisters who have come out of that kind of a teaching, who don't have that kind of blood, not even an inkling of that in their heart. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This stuff was told to us from the very beginning, but most people don't know this, because they don't like to rightly divide the word of truth. And especially when you have pastors and preachers and teachers who don't want to tell you this, because they know it exposes them as well. Japheth, you see that word right there? Japheth. Let me get that to right there. Japheth. Let's see what Japheth means. It has a meaning. Japheth in Hebrew. Yapet. Look at that. You see where it says expansion right there? You see it right there? It's telling you. You guys can use all, people want a piece of this. And look, I want a piece of this. I want a piece of the sky too. But that doesn't mean I'm going to get it. These people are not dreaming. They takes. You hear what I'm saying? They gets to taking stuff. That's what it means to be an expansionist. Do you know what Sham means? Sham means name. We are the people with the name. What name do you think it's talking about? Sham. What name do you think we could probably have that we're called the name? Yahuah. We have the true name. This is why he says he's going to call his people by his name. Symbolically speaking, all the tribes are known as Yahudah. Okay? Yes, Yahudah is one of the 12 tribes, but generally speaking, this is why when you see it says that salvation is of Yahudah first, and then to the Goyim, and then to the Gentiles. When it's being used in that kind of vernacular, it's talking about generalizing all of Israel as Yahudim. But when you're talking about Yahudah as the people of a certain tribe, yes, now you're talking about one tribe of 12. Let's look at Ham. Come. You know, some of our African brothers and sisters, boy, when they get to speaking, they can speak hot and heavy. Oh, what did you mean? Why would you say that, Jimmy? Oh, come on, Jimmy. Come on, please, Jimmy. Don't say that. They're very hot-headed. It's part of their DNA. That doesn't make them wrong. It's just telling you their DNA. This is who they are. Just like the Japhites, it's telling you their bloodline, their DNA, who they are. They want to expand their horizon. They're the ones who want to try to go up into, man, you don't see melanated people going out and swimming in the ocean to get bit up by a great white shark. You just ain't going to see it. I'm not saying that it's never happened or occurred ever, but I'm just telling you, normally you're going to see a Caucasian person going out there on a surfboard, and they're going to go out there and they're going to try to catch that wave, and they're going to end up probably getting caught up into a tiger shark's mouth or a great white's mouth or any of that stuff. It's just what it is. The people who want to climb up Mount Everest knowing that there's no oxygen up there are usually Caucasians. This is what they do. They're adventure seekers. This is what they do. Now you can say, oh, you're just looking at, no, this is the truth. How many of us have to do certain things? It's just like, okay, if we're talking about sports, like football, basketball, or whatever it takes to be physical, 9 times out of 10, the melanated person is going to outdo other people. Am I lying? Is that a racial statement? I think not. Just like what I just said about who goes out there and who goes surfing and who goes skiing and who does all these adventurous things are usually, notice, usually, I didn't say every time, but usually are Caucasians who do that. So it is the same thing with this word. You got to start using your spiritual common sense. This is the same thing with Christianity. Who gave us Christianity? It wasn't melanated people. It was Caucasian people. They call themselves Romans. These same Romans still run this world. Just like it says in the book of Daniel, just like it says in the book of Revelation, this kingdom, this empire is live and well. It is not going to someday rise back up from the ashes. No, they are already here. And they're going to burn down their own empire to resurrect it with Satan. Rome has never gone anywhere. There's no such thing as a revived Roman Empire. You won't find it anywhere in the New Testament, and you won't find it anywhere in the Old. This is a modern vernacular, a modern verbiage that is being used in Christendom. They want you to believe that another Roman Empire is coming up when the Roman Empire you're in it. You're living in it. You're living in the beast system. We are all living in the beast system. It's here. They're just getting ready to ratchet it up to another level with this technology, with this AI technology. This is the abomination. So this takes us back to Ezekiel. Again, verse 25. And I also gave them up to laws that were not righteous and right rulings by which they would not live. It's talking about DNA Israel. I gave them up to become like the heathens, to follow the heathens' doctrines, their religions of what? Of wood and stone. The old rugged wooden cross and the copper stone of Islam. This is what Israel has went after for the most part. Not all of them. You got some that went into Buddhism and other mystic types of religions, but as a majority, they went into one or two faiths, either Christianity or Islam. That's what happened to the children of Yasharal. They went after the wooden cross, and they went after the Kaaba stone. And now he's calling his people out of both of those so-called religions so that they may come to him once again, because he has made a promise to our ancestors, to our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaqub. To that top, Manuel. Yep, we're getting ready to close off this segment and come back on here with a 5-minute break. Let us palo. Heavenly Abba, we come before you, asking, O Yah, not for those of us who already see this truth, but maybe there's somebody in here that's new, someone that you have sent in here, O Abba, that needed to hear this truth, that you may open up their eyes, that they may start seeking you with the sincerity of heart, looking into your word and not being told by others what you have to say to them in their heart, O Yah. We know that we're living in the last days, Abba, and we know that you're going to prepare us, your people. This is why you're revealing so many things to us now that we didn't understand before. Abba, help us to not be tainted of this world. May we not be connected to this world ever again. May we hate the things of this world. May we hate the things that you hate, O Abba. May you reveal it to us so that we will also stay clear of these evil things. We pray for our enemies. We pray for those who don't believe as we believe. We know we didn't do anything right, O Yah, for you to open up our eyes. We thank you for choosing us, for we did not choose you. Even when we were faithless, you were faithful to us, O Abba. And for this reason, we love you and thank you, because you have given us everything that we need, even eternal life. Abba, we don't only pray for ourselves, but for our brothers and our sisters, our friends and our families, all those that you already know, O Abba, before the foundation of the world, that your name has been placed upon them for the day of redemption. Go before us, O Abba. Help us to continue to be ambassadors for you to the four corners of this earth. Help us to be strong and vigilant. Help us not to be cowardice, but to be strong and bold as a lion, speaking your truth, yet with love and compassion and long-suffering, as you have been towards us when we too were lost and caught up into the whims of this world of Christianity and Islam. Thank you, O Abba, for all that you do. We palal and pray all these things in the mighty name of your Son, your Bane, Yahusha, the name that is above all names, the only name that we can call upon, that we may have salvation. May we resist the devil. May we continue to resist the evil. Help our eyes to be open to the deception that's all around us. In Yahusha's mighty name we palal. Hallelujah, Yahuah. Hallelujah, Yahuah. And Hallelujah, Yahuah. Amat. Rumamu Yahuah. All right, Mishpachah. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. And I want to thank all of you, especially those of you, your first time people that have come in. We hope that you will continue to come back every weekend. We do this every weekend, Yahuah willing. 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 2 o'clock Mountain, 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Atlantic, 9 o'clock Great Britain. My name is Jimmy, also known as Brother Jimmy, and we are the ambassadors of Yah. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Shalom, Mishpachah.
is sharper than fishing hooks, snagging souls, taking tolls, leaving devils shook. Who we be? Messengers, truth bringers, that's the key. Unlocking minds, leaving darkness in debris. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Listen close, hear us, yeah. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Listen close, hear us, yeah. Verses be thumping, shofars be blowing, beat be steady. Word power every hour, truth already. Planted deep secrets, keep fools unsteady. We elevate till your fate be ready. No compromise. Open your eyes, see the light. Walk tall, stand strong with all your might. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Listen close, hear us, yeah. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Listen close, hear us, yeah. No compromise. Open your eyes, see the light. Walk tall, stand strong with all your might. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Listen close, hear us, yeah. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Spreading love from near to far. We are the ambassadors, ambassadors, yeah. Listen close, hear us, yeah. Yes.